Black technology, building a lightsaber starting from a graduation project. Hello again, dear adventurers of the multiverse. Thanks for joining us once more on this epic journey. Remember, this story is pure science fiction from our wild imagination, so don't go trying to summon dragons in your backyard. The rights of this amazing novel belong entirely to its original author. We are only the narrators. Do you want more adventures? Show some love to our YouTube channel with a subscription and a like, and if you want exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting for you with open arms. Chapter 501. After several days of high-intensity experiments, Xu Teng felt a little exhausted. If it weren't for the transformation of the body through genetic medicine, coupled with the world constructed by mental power, the consumption could be minimized. He couldn't hold it any longer. What day is it today? Just after asking, the voice of Xing came. It's the 4th day. It's been 4 days. How about the construction of the starship? And how did Luoja arrange it? Another day is the opening of the Death God fleet, and the borders of the solar system will definitely be in flames. The overall progress is still expected, and the final battleship integration part is coming soon. This means that there is not much time left for Xu Teng. The integrated part of the starship means that the energy conversion part and the wormhole calculation must be assembled. Lord Halo left the territory 3 days ago. The news came just a while ago that the construction of the defense line has been integrated, and the support of other interstellar bases has also been put in place one after another. That's good. Hearing this, Xu Teng breathed a sigh of relief. In any case, the construction of the defensive line is the most important. With the development speed of Blue Star, there is simply no strength to resist the impact of an interstellar flagship. After thinking about it, Xu Teng ordered, if the results of my research here do not come out, the assembly progress of the interstellar battleship will not fall, and it will go directly to the location of Blue Star after the assembly is completed. This is something that Xu Teng and Halo have negotiated for a long time. This interstellar battleship is used to fight against the small fish that come from the defense line. Let Blue Star have enough power to protect itself, even if it is only equipped with the armor of star iron. Compared to other warships of the same type, it is considered a top configuration, and Xu Teng still has a big killer that has not been used. That is the god-killing weapon, time and space spike. It was not until after connecting to the interstellar network that Xu Teng understood something through the powerful computing power of galaxy. Possessing a god-killing weapon is a scary thing many times if it is exposed for no reason. Not only the main star family of the Federation of Light will be curious, the top forces of the other 2 universes will also immediately enter. That's when the real ordeal will come. Maybe it will also involve the safety of Blue Star. Thought of this, Xu Teng's eyes became firm again. How many experiments have been done so far? Nearly 10,000 games. Is there any experimental data that can be integrated? Not yet found. Not all detected and browsed. How long will it take to complete all the tests? Xu Teng had a hunch that he might have overlooked something, and that thing is a key property. Once found, the current predicament can be solved immediately. It takes about an hour. And you also need to keep the power of the advanced mecha turned on all the time. The time left now is very precious, and the Death God fleet will start the Blue Star soon. Turn on the power of the advanced mecha and spend an hour sorting through the research data. It is a gamble in itself. Look up and watch the countdown to the assembly of the battleship. 4 hours. 4 hours later, the experimental results have not appeared. Here in the final battle against the Death Fleet, there will be no advantage. Only, after learning about Hai Luo's life history, Xu Teng's mentality has undergone a small change. When you decide something in your heart, it is better to take a risk and give it a try. Okay, then from now on, rearrange the experimental data. The experimental data is re-exported, and is being scanned to summarize the common points. Compare areas that need improvement. Compared to before, the light emerging from the Guardian this time is extraordinarily dazzling. The power of advanced mecha directly analyzes data with the highest frequency computing power and another mentally constructed data. A large amount of data appeared at the same time. Next second, it was sorted into other forms and calculated in batches. At this time, several technicians who were following Xu Teng's news were stunned by each other. PenFun library. They can also see the countdown data. There are only 4 hours left in such a short period of time. The person who dared to invest an hour to sort out the experimental data is indeed a ruthless person. Your Excellency Xu Teng, are you trying to find something? Yeah, it should be. At this juncture, dare to spend an hour investing in data. It's a bit like our Lord Hero. This sentence made everyone present quickly wake up. No wonder, this meal operation is so familiar. The most surprising thing was Chen Hui. When he developed the star iron technology on the opposite side and used it for the flagship, he somewhat came to a conclusion. Lord Xu Teng is a prudent person and you need to take one step, look at 2 or 3 steps otherwise. When the commander asked whether this armor technology could be used for the flagship, Xu Teng immediately came up with a plan, but all this in front of him broke his cognition. Man, I didn't expect it. It turns out that you are also a person who likes to gamble when you are in a desperate situation. No wonder, you can become brothers with Lord Hero. But, is there any chance of this being done? Turning his head, he looked at the interstellar battleship that was about to be assembled not far away. There was a lot of worry in Chen Hua's eyes. The opponent is the fleet of the god of death, the kind that can't wait to be thrown into ashes if you don't have enough strength. The result is a bit unimaginable. On the other hand, the data collation at this time is almost coming to an end. Data has been mobilized and comparison is underway. No outstanding results. The next transfer of the database is being carried out, and it is coming out of the inventory. A torrent of gray data was instantly involved in the past in the world created by spiritual power. Xu Teng read the whole article together, plus the data processing ability of advanced mecha power, but this time, Xu Teng was stunned when he was about to finish the scan. Just now, it seemed like I felt something with a wave of his hand. The original data was cut in again. The red and blue bar graphs are distinct, of course. The most important thing is not this, but another. The data curve did not collapse instantly. There is a point there. A small turning point. Forewarning, once here, the energy part was able to withstand the ground. Galaxy will amplify this part of the data. Goodly. As the curve of the data began to enlarge, not only Xu Teng, but also the technicians who were watching the experiment synchronously outside had their eyes widened. The problem seems to be solved. I'm going. No way, another person who will win big bets. Chapter 502. The Starship. The reason why everyone, including Chen Hui, thinks so. The main reason is the turning point. The reason why the previous experiment failed was that it couldn't bear the tossing of the wormhole engine when it was running, but that turning point revealed a series of problems. That is, the energy part is able to withstand that pressure until it is completely destroyed. The eyes of several researchers lit up, which foreshadowed an upcoming fact. Their energy sector will also have a top technology comparable to the golden light. The time to raise eyebrows is finally here. Several researchers looked excited in an instant. I thought of the situation where I was ridiculed at Brother Hiru a while ago, although everyone did not go into details. But after all, I felt uncomfortable. I've been thinking about finding an opportunity to slap my face back now. When I finally have an opportunity, I must seize it. At this time, Xu Teng, the party involved, had no other ideas. Just looking at the data provided by Galaxy, I just keep building various models in my mind. With a wave of hands, the models began to be built one by one. If it is in the outside world, Xu Teng definitely cannot control several models at the same time. However, in this world it is different. He is like a god of creation. The model has been established, various data have been continuously imported, and the basic requirements have been completed. Are you sure to start? Turning his head and looking at the surrounding models, Xu Teng's eyes flashed with a dazzling light. After the power of the advanced mecha is used for a long time, it will change the quality of the body, even inadvertently strengthen in another direction. Start. As Xu Teng finished speaking, various data were instantly imported into the model at the same time. A huge virtual screen appeared in the world. Items of data are broken down. An exceptionally obvious pen fund library. Turn down the calculation amount of the wormhole, and don't directly reach the limit value. The law is slowly explored, and the data is advanced step by step. Clear. The first experiment was mainly to look for the turning point of that limit value, and what would appear in the end once found. The subsequent data development will also become smooth. When the order was given, several models began to add substances to them with great precision. Soon after, boom, the first model blew up. Then, it's like touching a switch. Models happen one after the other. Rumble. 3, 2, the number of models remaining on the virtual screen keeps decreasing until the last model different from the others. At the moment of that curve, the data really turned a corner. Even the slight friction sound can be heard. This is it. At this moment, Xu Teng's spirit was shaken. After looking for something for so long, I finally found it. Xing records the data directly and saves it for backup. Okay. With a wave of his hand, a bright spot appeared in his eyes. I have a feeling when I analyze this specific data, if I analyze it, the problem in front of me can be solved. After receiving the order, Xing instantly imported most of its computing power. Unlike before, this time, it will not be installed again. Only the last few hours left, and it was too late to reload. All computing power has been mobilized, connected to the power of advanced mecha. The data link has been stabilized. Analyzing samples. The sample is being dissected. A large number of data streams are flying in the world of mental strength. Pen fund library this time was different from the previous ones. Even Xu Teng put all his mech power into it. I still feel a little tired and a little uncomfortable. The light that was originally in the eye socket began to work. It turned into a stream of light and walked around Xu Teng's body, which was different from the power of advanced mecha. The color of this light is a little pale. If it is mixed with the power of the mecha, how much is a little dazzling. At the moment when the light came out, Xu Teng felt that his comprehension ability had risen again. Only, now is the critical moment. The concentration is high. I didn't care what this thing was. Items of data were decomposed and began to overlap in my mind. Turning his head to look at the model not far away, he suddenly woke up. So it is. The computing power of the wormhole is connected to the computing program of the host through the bright spot, and finally the pressure is shared through the computing of the host. The mind was opened instantly. The technical staff outside the field first experienced dizziness and shock, then came complete surrender. The young people in the conference room really solved the problems they faced, and it was also broadcast live to them. How did the idea come about, how the experiment was done, and how the problem was solved? What is the pattern? Open. This is it. In the next half hour, they were shocked again. Other scientific research process requires a lot of time to verify the authenticity of the data. Only then did I dare to apply that set of theories to actual items. But Xu Teng is different. What is a test? No, true all-rounders don't need to worry about that at all. Isn't there experimental data? Just wear it directly in. The next time, there is another room where the leaders of the energy department gather. Strange noises kept coming. I wipe. Is this really okay? No way. Is that okay? You're too fast. I can't keep up. Wait for me. Hiss. The overhead lighting continued to flicker for a while. Why is there a problem with the lighting? This should have nothing to do with Your Excellency Xu Teng. When only half an hour left in the countdown, the test was completely completed. All the data bears this out. That is, this time the design of the object completely meets the requirements. The last time was star iron. This time it was the energy part. Xu Teng successfully turned the page again. Hurry up. Import the data here. Let people. Forget it. I will go directly to the production workshop to supervise the project in person. The moment he walked out the door, he turned his head and said to his subordinates, Hey, share this information with Mr. Hero immediately. Tell them that we also have new technology. He paused, as if thinking of something, emphasized, don't forget to add a sentence at the end. Do not lose to the kind of technology of his big brother. The younger brother, who was still standing beside him, was stunned for a moment, and then he seemed to remember something. A strange flame burned in the eye sockets. Everyone remembers that technical exchange, ostensibly an exchange. In fact, the whole process was crushed, and the other side said it in an extremely arrogant tone at the end. No. You dare to come out and talk to us about this technology? Yes, the interns in one of our factories are better than the spaceships you made. Tisk tisk tisk. Some people really think they are with the right person. Let's talk about it, so that Halo can become the representative of the Golden Light Clan? Don't make fun of it, okay? A few hours later, the starship is completed. It is not much different from the time expected by Xing at the beginning. Chapter 503. Are we fooled? On the other hand, after Hero had just handed over everything was fine, Li Mingru, the adjutant, hurried up to greet him, and the expression on his face was filled with undisguised excitement. Master Halo, there was news from the territory just now. Hearing this sentence, the original fatigue disappeared instantly. He raised his head and looked at Li Mingru with a fiery gaze. Is there any news about the spaceship? When he brought Xu Teng to the territory, he had no other ideas, thinking that I can let Xu Teng get in touch with more knowledge of interstellar and the like. I will definitely be able to use it in the future. Who knows? Not long after I came to the territory, I let others see another side of myself, who said that the scientific research staff of the combat department cannot study this area and shine. It's okay if it's normal can result. As soon as Xu Teng came up, he started with the interstellar battleship. The armor technology developed has never been seen before. Not only can it be used on flagships, but it can also be broadcast live throughout the entire process, which is a process that everyone can learn from that moment on. Hero's idea has expanded a lot in other aspects. For example, if I can suppress the big brother in terms of scientific research, will the representatives of the Golden Light Clan fall on me sooner? When this idea was established, Halo had a lot more expectations for Xu Teng nowadays. As soon as I hear the news of the territory, I will instantly think of whether it is related to the interstellar battleship. Well, I just heard from Chen Hua's report that Lord Xu Teng's last two problems have been overcome. Now the interstellar battleship can set sail, but the direction of Lord Xu Teng is not this way, but the other side. Having said that, he turned his head to look at Halo, wanting to know what his lord's expression was like. Who knows? Hero is as if he hasn't heard anything. And his face is full of indifference? Does Xu Teng have any other requirements, such as what supplies need to be provided, or a fleet? When he heard this sentence, Li Mingru was a little shocked. Not long after he sent the other party to the territory, he left. Don't know what happened next. I just heard that the interstellar warships are built in the territory then, after the construction of the interstellar battleship, my lord. This is really regarded as a blood brother. No. Just said a sentence. If there is a small fish breaking through the defense line, you don't need to worry about it. They can get rid of those little fish by themselves. Hearing this sentence, Hiro's eyes flickered a few times, as if thinking about something. Then, I finally made up my mind. That's fine, just do as Xu Teng said. We can just do our own thing, and bring me the specific data map of the defense line. Li Mingru, who was standing beside him, hesitated for a while, and finally asked what he wanted to say. Master Halo, do you really don't need to support your excellency Xu Teng? How to say, the other party is facing the Death God fleet. I heard that Blue Star is just a newcomer to the level of interstellar civilization. Who knows? After listening to his words, Hiro was not worried at all, and even smiled. Ha, I don't think it won't take long before you will know. The God of Death has a very good reputation, but for some people, these are not useful. At the end, he spoke in a mysterious tone. Some people. In fact, after all, they just want to fight, and they just scold when they want to. Then he turned around handsomely and walked to the conference room humming a ditty. A very good mood. Li Mingru, who was left with a confused look, looked at the boss's back and muttered to himself, did I hear something wrong? What does it mean to fight when you want to fight, and scold when you want to scold? You're not talking about the Death Fleet, should? Absolutely not. On the other hand, the expressions of everyone in the interstellar battleship at this time were a bit weird. Generally, the starships built in the territory need to be tagged, and even have special marks. In this way, when the internal system identifies it, it will attribute this interstellar battleship to Hiro's defensive fleet. But this time, don't say anything about labeling it, and even the internal procedures are not recorded. It really is an asset that only belongs to Xu Teng. Moreover, from the answer just now, they found that Lord Halo's attitude towards Xu Teng was truly kind. Like a blood brother. I can't wait to put all the remaining defense forces of the territory into the upcoming interstellar scale battle between Xu Teng and the Death Fleet. Well, it's okay, you just need to pay attention to the defense line. If any trash comes out, I can handle it, although, Blue Star, the power is not as powerful as you think. However, there is also enough power to face those wars that follow. Don't worry, isn't it the running dog under the God of Death? It's not like he hasn't beaten him. How many times? When Xu Teng hung up the holographic call, he turned to look at the shipboard technicians beside him. Everyone was stunned. It was like meeting Xu Teng for the first time. What did you just say? I heard it right. What? This is not the first time I have faced a lackey under Death's hands. But after thinking about it, the research boss in front of him cannot be measured by ordinary people's thoughts. When the interstellar network became popular at the beginning, it was because Xu Teng strongly crushed Du Yangxing, and even the shackles and the like have all failed, breaking the record of the Federation of Light. Looking at it this way, it doesn't seem like a great record for beating a lackey. If you think it's dangerous, wormhole jumping through a small interstellar spacecraft is still too late. If you really go to the battlefield, everything will be too late. Immediately after these words were spoken, the group of technicians blushed and shouted loudly, isn't it just some small trash fish? You don't even have your own home. Are you still afraid of them? That's right. Let's kill one. Although I'm just a technician of an interstellar battleship, I'm familiar with it. If I say where the battle can put the most pressure on the opposite interstellar battleship, that's right. Even if I can't do it in person, my ability to build interstellar warships is not weak. As long as I give me a chance, I will let them know what is the despair of explosive arms. When Xu Teng heard these words, Gubo was not surprised on the surface, but inside he burst into laughter with this group of technicians. He has a purpose, to be precise. They want to spread their knowledge on Blue Star. There may be a large group of people waiting for the interstellar technology to flow. This is what you said. I will arrange some tasks at that time. You will not object, Your Excellency Xu Teng. What are you talking about? How could we object? Yet. It's too late to be happy. Okay, then I'm relieved. Xu Teng smiled and patted several people's shoulders as a sign of encouragement. When only a few of them were left in the hall, an unpleasant feeling suddenly emerged. They looked at each other and said hesitantly, have we been fooled? Chapter 504, Our Spaceship. In another room, Xu Teng and Xing were discussing the arrangement of the Blue Star defense line. Has the technology been passed back? Pass it back. What Xu Teng asked about was not only the technology he developed himself, but also the technology downloaded from the interstellar network. Even at the level of an interstellar society, some people will openly share the technology of some small spaceships only, because the technical content is not high. There are not many people who download it. However, if there is an artificial intelligence at the level of galaxy, it will not be a problem at all. Change it here, change it there. It is unreasonable to remove the low-tech technologies and replace them with some high-tech ones. Combined in this way, the shotgun was immediately replaced by a cannon. For some big families, it may be unattractive, but for a civilization that was just starting out like Blue Star, it was a proper timely reign savior. Can the current crafting equipment be enough to build another spaceship? Having said that, Xu Teng patted the seat under him. In fact, this interstellar battleship is far from being as simple as what Chen Hua saw. Ordinary technicians can indeed operate it, and can obviously feel the improvement in performance in various aspects. For example, the armor is beaten and pressure resistant than the average spaceship. For example, the power of the energy part is sufficient, the conversion efficiency is high. The time required for wormhole jumping is shorter, and the cooling is reduced. Various difficult operations are easy to use, but this was built by Xu Teng himself. It is mixed with the power of mecha. That means, to drive this spaceship perfectly, it must be someone who knows the power of mecha. Although, the Federation of Light has no one who has the power of mecha. On the bright side, at this moment only, there is no shortage on Blue Star. If there are several such interstellar warships, it will play a certain threatening role for the giants such as flagships. From the information obtained, Blue Star does not have the materials to build this kind of interstellar battleship. Hey, Xu Teng still couldn't help sighing, and sure enough, he thought too much. But you brought some technicians from interstellar battleships. It will take some time for the Death God fleet to break through the defense line. During this time interval, you can make them shine. Probably because I have been following Xu Teng for a long time now. The scope of Xing's consideration of things is also habitually deviated from Blue Star. By the way, you let the group of people who unlock the power of mecha be low-key. Don't let the scientific researchers who came this time see that they are different. Now that our power has not been established, we still have to keep a low profile. Understood? This will give them an announcement. I looked up and saw that the distance from Blue Star at this moment was only the distance of the last wormhole jump. Start the wormhole jump in 3 minutes, and let the people on the battleship get ready before jumping. Don't bump your head. Okay, from a certain point of view, Xing is like an any-level housekeeper relying on powerful computing power as a base. It can indeed easily solve a variety of things. Seem just a little curious, the things in the knowledge treasure house, and whether the arsenal can unlock a new god-killing weapon. Some things are fine if you don't use them, but once you use them, the feeling won't stop. Moreover, judging from the information provided in Galaxy's database, the origins behind the god-killing weapon are not small, and even some so-called big families don't know about these situations. Since Xu Teng left Blue Star, some researchers in Longo always felt that something was missing. The feeling of a big explosion of technology has dissipated. Really, some people are representatives of the times, but some people are able to lead a new era. Those old people occasionally get together to talk. Hey, you said that when you went to Interstellar Academician Xu Teng would not be so used to it. Or, after seeing the new technology, he has a feeling of insignificance. In fact, this feeling is the most common, especially for those who go from low to high. When their advantages disappear in the new environment, the feeling of inferiority will emerge. As soon as someone finished speaking, Academician Jiang Ying picked it up. I don't think so. Have you all forgotten how Academician Xu Teng rose? One sentence reminds me of what I first learned. Others are just for a graduation, but what about the end? Sing along the way. Moreover, at the time when the Dragon Kingdom was the most famous, did not care what these reputations would bring to him in the slightest. How could someone like this get news? And the most important point, have you forgotten that he has the keen insight of Azira? It's only been a little over a year, and we have stepped into the interstellar civilization. Then the others continue to speak. It's also against another interstellar civilization that is wanted, and it has never been a disadvantage in many confrontations. Artificial intelligence, solar system defense, Red Dragon 1, the power of mecha. As each achievement was read out, every academician present had a sense of honor. These were all developed under the leadership of Xu Teng in other people's life. Even if they can do one, it is not bad. But what about Xu Teng? One achievement after another, as if there were no bottlenecks at all. Drip drip drip. Is this Xinghu's message tone? Yes. This is it. The academicians who were sitting there stood up excitedly one by one. When Xinghu set this tone, there was only one purpose, that is to remind everyone, Xu Teng is about to return to Blue Star Crash. A series of messages began to appear on the virtual screen, each of which was enough to make everyone stunned. The line of defense has been established, and there is still a big family's son participating in person, and even the fleet of the surrounding interstellar base has been mobilized. A series of technologies common to interstellar spaceships are all packaged. Wait, that means bringing in a small group of spaceship technicians. When the screen turned over, a shocking news detonated all groups again. I'm going, this is a spaceship. Wait, it seems to belong to us. Damn, really? Academician Xu Teng, he has his own spaceship in such a short period of time. Just when everyone was stunned and didn't know what to say, the clouds above were pushed aside. A behemoth appeared in front of everyone, the hull of dozens of kilometers long, silver exterior, and huge shadows shrouded all the buildings below, giving people a strong sense of impact. Starship, really here? It still belongs to us. Chapter 505, he comes from scientific research. At this moment, a hole opened in the bilge of the silver behemoth in front of him. A small aircraft flew to a tall building, and the spaceship began to lift off. Because of its huge size, it instantly attracted the attention of the entire city. Pedestrians on the street took out their mobile phones and started taking pictures, constantly communicating with each other. I'm going, this is an interstellar battleship. Absolutely yes, I have checked the information of the battleship through Xinghu, Cao, who has the ability to mobilize. Wait, it must be Academician Xu Teng. However, isn't Academician Xu Teng always at Bluestar? I heard that he has been involved in the construction of the defense line. He can get the interstellar battleship out while sitting at home? I'm rubbing it. I'm a little restless. As we all know, Academician Xu Teng's connections are invincible. Wait, the interstellar warships are coming. Doesn't that mean that the war with the Death Fleet is about to start? I'm a little worried. As soon as someone said this sentence, a bunch of people built a building in an instant. Don't worry, it's not the first day that Death was beaten. I'm sorry, I laughed. 8 Death, come out and be beaten. Beating +1. It is different from the cheerful atmosphere on the internet at this time. All the senior officials in the Blue Star Alliance were all nervous, and some people were sweating non-stop in their palms. Xu Teng has already conveyed the news through Xinghu, and the person who came is the technical staff of the Golden Light clan who helped Blue Star last time. Unlike the Blue Star Alliance, they are true starship talent. Some people once opened their resumes out of curiosity, and when they saw the dense introduction words on it, their scalps tingled. What is the general design of the second-generation main battleship? What is a high-level talent in the energy sector? A tenured professor at the Yingji Interstellar Academy of the Federation of Lights? What has been involved in the design of a generation of main flagships? The introduction of line-by-line words is simply inlaid with gold. Academician Zhang Ying said in a low voice. If they were able to come here, I'm afraid that Academician Xu Teng didn't let them come because he begged his father to tell his grandmother. Academician Tuzi, who was standing aside, seemed to have thought of something. His expression twitched, and the words he was used to were about to blurt out, but he finally held back. Hold back, you can't spray. Mine students, you have done so much for us. Just when everyone was thinking about it, they heard the sound of cats. The interface connected to the starship is on puff-puff. The gas is continuously vented, adjusting the gravitational pressure on the starship to the same level as that of Blue Star. Then there was the sound of footsteps. Boom rumble. The heavy screen door in front of him opened, and several people in the distance walked towards Academician Zhang Ying. Hey, why do you think something is wrong with us? Talent is always the most important. This sentence, whether it is placed on the Blue Star or on the Interstellar, is a general rule. Although the academicians are very puzzled that Xu Teng can get back a space battleship of his own but through the transmission of certain data. I also understand a little. That is, this interstellar battleship was built by the Golden Light clan who helped them last time. And it may be that the young man was kind to Xu Teng, but the technicians who came along with the interstellar battleship will not eat Xu Teng's set. The importance of starship talent is far greater than a starship itself. Those who do scientific research have a kind of arrogance, and especially look down on those who rely on relationships and go through the back door. So, the technicians will definitely be the ones walking in the front. Blue Star locals like Xu Teng can only stand behind and introduce them while walking. Although it will be a little uncomfortable, it is really impossible. Who says they don't have knowledge of starships themselves? But the real situation is, Xu Teng walked in the front alone, and the technicians who came with the interstellar battleship walked behind, and kept asking about something. Not only did Xu Teng have no expression on his face, he didn't even reply. Virtual screens pop up from time to time next to them, answering certain things. What's the situation? Why is it different from what we imagined? The person who licked was not Xu Teng, but the technicians of the group of spaceships opposite, and from the looks of it, the licking on the opposite side was very hard and very stiff, as if it was the first time to lick a dog. Although he exhausted his whole body, he still couldn't make Xu Teng happy. Obviously not in place, the crowd soon came to the side of academician Zhang Ying. Before waiting for Zhang English they speak, the person wearing the golden glasses stepped forward and said, "You are the researchers of the Blue Star Alliance, right? We have heard about you from Your Excellency Xu Teng along the way." Before he could speak, a smile appeared on the other side. "Don't worry, our goal this time is very simple. It is to help you improve your technology. Specifically, to help you build interstellar warships." Just a few words, like a thunderbolt, bombarded everyone. Just so simple to say. What else did we think we needed, such as rubbing hard bubbles, such as lowering one's posture, such as promising various benefits? The warship builders who were supposed to be at the top were now as cordial as the little brother next door, holding their hands and saying hello. No matter how you look at it, the tone is the same as that of a family member. What the hell did Xu Teng do? Why is there such an attitude? This Nemas looks like a little brother who has been conquered by technology. And Xu Teng just greeted them. "Director Chen, I will trouble you with the next thing. I still need to sort out some urgent matters at hand." "Good." Chen Hua's expression is quite enthusiastic, and dog-legged he watched Xu Teng leave, and then turned to Zhang Ying and everyone. "Then why don't we start now?" "What?" Everyone was stunned at first, and then reacted immediately. "Ha. Director Chen, if you feel it's okay now, then we'll go there right away." "Okay, let's get started." So things took a weird turn. It was obvious that everyone was planning to use some words to convince this group of arrogant-looking spaceship technicians, but the result is, the other side took the initiative, and even was a little scared. Moreover, during the training, from time to time, I would ask what Mr. Xu Teng had done. All kinds of suspicious voices kept ringing in the workshop. "This was invented by Your Excellency Xu Teng," pointing to the sanctioner Mecha, and asked. Then he turned to look at the conspicuous red dragon. "No one," and asked again. "This was invented by Your Excellency Xu Teng. He actually came from a scientific research background." If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 506, Holographic Communication Cut Off. What does it mean to not ask or not to know? When you ask, you are startled. This is, in the end, it was not only academician Zhang Ying, but even academician Tuzi was a little puzzled. What's wrong? Could it be that academician Xu Teng did something in the Federation of Light that they misunderstood? Result: when they learned from Chen Hua that academician Xu Teng beat up the core competitor of the Endless family on the main star alone, everyone was stunned. Is this still the academician Xu Teng we know? But when they heard that Ouyang Xingchen was bullying others, everyone was angry. Damn, what family on the main star? As long as he dares to come to Blue Star, we will still let him go back and forth. That is, bullying us. Academician Xu Teng without a backer. In particular, the other plain-looking old man was fine when he didn't speak. As soon as he spoke, Chen Hua finally understood why their colleagues called him academician Tanzi. Nemas, %R%R. There's something to do it again. What percent? Silence processing has been carried out. At that time, Chen Hua was stunned. My dear, this is really dirty. It's truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. If I hadn't heard it with my own ears, I wouldn't have known that there were such swear words in the world. Really live forever. However, Chen Hua and the others did not care after all. The several starship and battleship technicians who came here know what the Endless Clan means and what kind of family power is behind it. The scolding of several people was regarded as righteous indignation, but both Zhang Ying and academician Tuzi knew something were really capable. We just don't express it. Because, the power of Mecha is not only possessed by academician Xu Teng, but a Mecha core has all unlocked the power of Mecha. In fact, during the conversation between the academicians and Chen Hua, they gradually learned something, that is, even in the Federation of Light, the power of mechas is something unique, and it is not even an exaggeration to say that it is a legendary treasure. If it wasn't for academician Xu Teng's special order not to disclose it casually, they almost couldn't help saying in a tone of joy, "Do you mean the power of the Mecha? We all have it, and there are quite a few." At this time, everyone could not help but sigh in their hearts. Academician Xu Teng, what is it for us? What a precious thing to leave behind. At this time, various files are being generated in Xinghu's background, and at the same time, they are spread to the devices of various Blue Star leaders. Dangerous characters are being generated. File target, Yang Xingjin, Introduction to Target Characters, Endless Race, the core competitor of the next generation, a series of data files with various analyses until the last sentence appeared, suggested processing result, if the target is found to be directly obliterated. Use all power. In the bottom margin is a string of signed comments. Only one sentence is displayed. Agree. Under the battlefield of Blue Star, this is actually the case. Through Xinghu's data calculation, various people can be analyzed, but no matter who it is, as long as it threatens Xu Teng in the end, there will only be one handling opinion, and that is obliteration. Just like the big families of the Federation of Light will belong to their own master stars, and Blue Star will be the main star of Xu Teng. Here, everyone remembers what Xu Teng once did. File level, top secret. In this way, at the moment when the file was formed, all the warriors of Blue Star's Mecha Power received a strange wanted notice. Hey, what's going on? Why is a top-level wanted order suddenly formed? I saw it too. It's the kind that must be obliterated. Wait. This person has murderous intentions for academician Xu Teng. This sentence instantly made the scene quiet. The next second, the atmosphere became hot. Fuck. He actually has the intention to kill academician Xu Teng. Damn it, no. How dare he? That's right. Don't let me see it. If Xinghu's information is detected, I will definitely hack him to death. There is no end to the Endless Clan. What is the big family of the Bright Federation? As long as you come to Blue Star, I will only recognize one person, and that is academician Xu Teng. On the other side, Xu Teng was looking at various data in the large room. These are all projects that Xinghu has done after Xu Teng has left and the technicians have been brought together. Red Dragon number 1 has been upgraded to Red Dragon number 2, not just one production and processing line. The defense line of the solar system has also gained a certain amount of scale. Is this a suspended full defense platform? The huge laser cannon above is an explosive. Can the gun be upgraded as a basic modification? Hey, the docking base and parts production workshop for the interstellar battleship are also being constructed. Seeing this series of data, Xu Teng felt relieved overall. Since he left, the Blue Star Alliance has done well under the guidance of Xinghu's data. Not only did not deviate from the main line, but also carried out some performance improvements. In particular, the workshop structure of the interstellar battleship has also reached a certain scale, and it is slowly moving closer to the real interstellar civilization. Not bad, at least if there is no problem in the rear. I will be relieved a lot. Just when Xu Teng waved his hand and put away all the numbers, a call request came. It was initiated by Hero Hilo. If it is this time period, it can only explain one point: the contact war may have already begun. Quick, connect, clear. The next second, Hiluo's figure appeared in front of Xu Teng. Brother Xu Teng, just now, we had an encounter with the Death God fleet. After saying this, the camera started to deflect and turn to the outside. Obviously it is a full-screen viewing angle, but it can be clearly seen it is filled with all kinds of warships, and all of them are spaceships at this point. The conflict just started. The beams of various weapons are flying outside. Blue, red, dazzling fireballs of different styles bloomed above the shield, and the attacking fighters were destroyed one by one. Forming fireballs one by one. Stuff Library. A piercing sound can be clearly heard. It's the two big guys on the screen. The flagships come up against each other at the same time. Other things that emerged around the flagship were all fixed in the entire space. From a distance, this space seemed to be locked by something. It is forbidden to open the wormhole to prevent the shuttle and some of the interstellar warships that are known for their speed from directly leaving the battlefield through the wormhole and attacking the opposite rear base. Xing is worthy of being a nanny-level housekeeper, and promptly typed the text on the screen next to him to explain. Brother Xu Teng, let me tell you, if they want to break through my defenses based on this thing, it's definitely a dream. As soon as Halo finished speaking, there was a problem with the holographic communication cut off instantly. Chapter 507. Did I hear it wrong? Looking at the holographic communication that suddenly dimmed without warning, Xu Teng frowned. The signal has been checked and it is not our problem. If it's not our problem, it means that there is an accident. At that moment a bad feeling emerged in Xu Teng's heart. Usually afraid of something happening, something will come right away. After thinking for a while, Xu Teng ordered, convert all the global networks into one channel, and link this channel directly with Hero's call. Make sure that only when we talk, the live broadcast of the interstellar battlefield can be seen by all the people in the entire Blue Star. As for the rest of the Legion, immediately issue the alert status of the first level war. Notify them, Death God's fleet will break through the defense line at any time and cause a fatal blow to Blue Star. By the way, let the Legion of Mecha Power get ready. If the situation reaches the most critical situation, It will be their turn to charge. Clear. A series of commands were sent from here, and the entire blue star moved in the next second. The power of Mecha will always be Xu Teng's most secret weapon because the meaning involved is too great. Xu Teng will not use this power unless he is in a desperate situation. One of the most crucial reasons, that is, he has a hunch Yang Xingchen will intervene at this critical moment. Although he is not familiar with each other, it's just that there is an artificial intelligence at the level of galaxy. Most of the time, you don't need to be familiar with it. Through big data, Galaxy can analyze the behavior of the other party. There is even a certain accuracy rate, even in which time period it will be roughly and what things will be done if it is in the Federation of Light. Xu Teng may not be easy to do, but this time is different. The news of the Death God fleet is only clear to the forces at the top, and this is the most remote place in the solar system. If you really want to come, there must be a way to keep you here forever. On the other side, Chen Hui, who was communicating with Zhang Ying and the others, suddenly heard a loud alarm, which was extremely harsh. What's going on here? Chen Hui and the others didn't react for a moment. Just he turned his head and looked at Zhang Ying and the others with a confused expression. Zhang Ying didn't lift her head, but replied calmly, "It should be that the Death God fleet is about to attack Blue Star. It's not a big deal. How about we continue to explain the principles of interstellar warships?" Academician Tuzi, standing next to him, didn't have such a good attitude, and scolded directly, "This tortoise grandson really doesn't have a long memory at all. It's just his head %, swearing silencer. When I came here a few times, which time was not %, he was just a stupid ass." At the same time, several academicians around are also full of disdain, and most of their expressions are, "This is it." Chen Hui was directly shocked. Not just him, the technicians of the other interstellar battleships also seemed to have seen something incredible, and their brains were momentarily shut down. After a few seconds of silence, Chen Hui asked cautiously with an expression of disbelief, "You know what death represents?" Several of them thought that the other party didn't know the origin of the god of death and what he did on the interstellar space to have such an attitude. "I know. It's not just on the interstellar most wanted list." "That's right. After this turtle son was wanted, he really didn't take us seriously. He dared to come and beat us more than once. This time, definitely let the opposite side come and go." For a while, the sarcastic voice of the crowd grew a little louder. Chen Hui, "Feelings, you know. Wait, if you know there is such an attitude, explain that here. They really brought down the god of death, and more than once." Several people looked at each other with shock in their eyes. They thought a little bit. He Lua once revealed a word to them and provided an underestimate brother Xu Teng. Although he is a researcher, the god of death has suffered a lot in his hands originally. Everyone just listened to it as a flattery. After all, it must be different for Mr. Hero, but now, it all seems to be true. Now, things get interesting. Chen Hui, the group of people living in the Federation of Light, naturally know what the god of death represents, and the ships under his name. What does the team mean in the past in the Federation of Light? Anyone who heard it was horrified at this moment. The public live broadcast of the attack is somewhat exciting, especially since it wasn't the first time that the other party had deflated under Xu Teng's name. Director Chen, the little brother under his hand, screamed secretly, and turned his eyes to the monitor on the side. Although he didn't say anything, he seemed to have said everything. The fire of gossip in his eyes is roaring wildly. "Your Excellency Xu Teng, it's okay to tell us that it's a little late. We'll stay at Blue Star for a while longer. Now the most important thing is to see how the god of death is deflated." Look, I know, Director Chen, you are indeed wise. That is, the overall technology in the energy sector is still entirely supported by you. If it wasn't for you, we would have caused significant losses in the field of scientific research. Just blow it hard. But I have to say, Chen Hua's expression is very comfortable. There's even a cool feeling turning his head to look at the screen next to him. The screen has now recovered. It was still a holographic call, but Hero on the screen was a little embarrassed, and the watch on his face was a little ugly. "Brother Xu Teng, let me first say sorry to you. Originally, under the wormhole disable setting of the flagship, everything was fine. It's just," after a pause, the expression on his face was a little angry, "the god of death projected again, and I don't know where I heard the news. This time, I deliberately brought a weapon that can damage the wormhole equipment. Just now, he used a weapon to smash the equipment that was disabled in the wormhole. At this time, the opposite side launched a suicide attack, so 2 interstellar battleships passed in the direction of Blue Star. Although, the last time Xu Teng said to him, if there are trash fish that break through the defense line, there is no need to worry, but Xu Teng means there is only one. There are 2 ships at the moment, they can't go back to defense immediately, so in the end, There was no surprise on Xu Teng's face when he heard the news, just said calmly, "I see, leave the rest to me, here you are." Hero was stunned for a moment. Did I hear something wrong? You didn't take the other party to heart. Chapter 508, The Dead Time Has Come. What Hai Luo originally wanted to say, after all, the breakthrough of 2 interstellar battleships from the defense line was not what he wanted to see, but who can imagine the god of death once again made projections regardless of cost, and even brought up weapons that could break through the wormhole ban. But looking at the expression on Xu Teng's face seriously, he became a little clearer. My brother is serious, maybe just like the last starship construction. He didn't say it with a secret okay. If brother Xu Teng, if you really have any trouble at that time, remember to tell me that my brother will never leave you alone. It's okay. Brother Luo doesn't need to worry about this trivial matter. Okay, the main reason why Xu Teng has such confidence lies in the data analysis of Galaxy. The 2 interstellar battleships that broke through the defense line were able to check the model number. Tiger Shark Starship, the 2nd generation main battleship, features, in order to pursue the speed of the battleship, part of the armor is weakened, and armor is only installed at the core of the battleship. Advantages: the flexibility is relatively strong. Disadvantages: not resistant to beating. Seeing the series of data at that time, Xu Teng knew it. The other psychological activities are also easy to understand. How long has the civilization of Blue Star been, and even only recently has it qualified to take the train of interstellar civilization? Could such a civilization have space warships? Absolutely impossible. Therefore, breaking through the flagship wormhole and prohibiting jumping is the most important thing. A fast running spaceship like the Tiger Shark is the best attacker, and it is simply a one-sided slaughter. Not only Xu Teng thought so, but at this time, Willa, the commander-in-chief of the 2 starships, also thought so. Looking at the flagship defense line that was gradually being left behind, Willa breathed a sigh of relief, and the tentacles on her body slowly drooped down. They are the octopus family. That is the case in tense moments. The tentacles will slowly rise when relaxed. The tentacles will slowly droop down. Commander, the Golden Light Clan did not send a team to catch up. Willa breathed a sigh of relief on the surface, but in fact, the tension in her heart slowly relaxed. Although he doesn't quite understand why death is so hostile to a low-level civilization like Blue Star hate, and have to send a flagship fleet out, but the desire to kill in his heart is running high. The octopus family has a bad reputation in the interstellar space. This is because when their entire civilization evolved, follows a theorem, the strong eats the weak. Only the real powerhouses have the opportunity to reach today, and step by step to catch the train of interstellar civilization. The weak are all dead, and they will even be enslaved into slaves and sold to others. Evil people like them obey the orders of the strong. Death is the idol in Willa's mind. As for the civilization of the weak, they have always liked to deprive all the resources in it, and then give it to idols in need. Such an impression is established in their minds as a faithful subordinate. It's just, Commander, I just found a strange data fluctuation. Willa frowned. He didn't like the variety of changes in the execution of the plan because that would give him a sense of panic that he couldn't grasp the overall situation. Say, just when we used the wormhole to jump through the flagship blockade of the Golden Light Clan, the surrounding space also fluctuated. It's like someone else came with us. After speaking, he peeked at Willa, saw that the latter's face was a little bad, and continued talking. Your Excellency, Commander, we have data records. Would you like to take a look? Hearing my brother's words, I felt a little less anxious overall. The younger brother is not too stupid. At least it can be Savedhoa. A series of data appeared on the screen, mainly the fluctuation data of the spatial value. It was originally calm, when the projection of the god of death held a weapon to cut through the wormhole and prohibited jumping. The wormhole in that piece showed 2 values. One is for their 2 starships, and the other is a small space jump. This doesn't look like it was inspired by a starship. It's a creature with some kind of space capability. In the early years, Willa made a living by assassination, and in order to complete the task, he studied the characteristics of other interstellar creatures. Although the data value is very weak, it is still somewhat perceptible. It is known that the universe is so big, and there are not many people who can have the ability to jump in space. Considering the situation at the time, neutral creatures would never enter this interstellar battlefield. Moreover, in the previous period, the Endless Clan had a festival with Xu Teng. After reasoning all of these, it is easy to guess who has the greatest chance to follow them into Blue Star with a swipe of your hand. The data panel is transferred to the background. It's okay, don't worry about them. It seems that some people really have a lot of enemies. Just do our best. Willa's expression remained the same, but it could be heard from the tone of voice that she was in a much better mood than we. The younger brother hesitated, just move directly towards the target, and then, no matter what you find, just hit it directly. Blue Star, what kind of rubbish low-level civilization? Seeing that Willow has changed into her original state again, the younger brother is finally relieved. It's still Commander Yingming. I'll go to convey your order. And the other side, when the two Tiger Shark interstellar battleships re-entered the wormhole and jumped away, there was a ripple in the surrounding space. 3 people came out of it. One of them is Zhu Yangxingchen. The other 2 are just shadows, and they are shadow guards. They found us. A hoarse voice came from the shadow. It's okay. Looking at their whereabouts, you can tell that you don't care about us, as long as you don't stop them. After he finished speaking, Yang Xingchen seemed to think of something again and said through gritted teeth, this time, Xu Teng must pay the price. Just rely on him? What do you want to fight with me, an interstellar poor living in a remote place? Afterwards, Yang Xingchen also saw his video on the internet unexpectedly. A beaten video broke the playback record of the Weiduo website in the end. It even appeared on the push of the homepage of the website. He has never been so miserable since he was born, to be precise. It has never been noticed in this way. Come on, Xu Teng's time to die has come. Yang Xingchen waved his hand, and a small wormhole jumped. Chapter 509 Encounter. At this time, Xu Teng, who was the client, did not see any nervousness at all as before. Various orders were issued. Zing. Activate all the defense lines of the solar system and raise it to the highest level. Once an unknown object is detected, there is no need to report it and fire directly. Okay, leave some of the guards in Blue Star, and transfer the rest out to let all the people enter the large underground shelter. Don't come out for the time being until the crisis is over. Let the team of Mecha Power be ready to stand by. If things develop to the end, combined with the actual situation, all the troops will be released. If it's just 2 spaceships, Xu Teng is not very afraid, but if, plus the power behind Zhu Yangxingchen, then people have to take a good defense. Even knowing Xu Teng's power to dare to do so, the people who are mobilized will not be weak. The emergency evacuation plan has been activated, and a large underground shelter is being opened. The army of Mecha Power is being dispatched. Actually, after Xu Teng left here, officials have organized many people to practice various evacuation plans again and again, because the god of death is always a sharp sword above their heads. If not addressed, the threat will always be there. The Blue Star Alliance is mainly based on the Dragon Kingdom. If you give up the people, it will not be the choice of the superiors. Population has always been the most important resource for a civilization at this point. It can be seen from the screen one after another. The masses began to leave the houses and entered the large shelter in an orderly manner under the official arrangement, and no one messed up, not even complained. It's what everyone said the most. What kind of rubbish? Why is there always someone who has no memory at all? That's right. Every time the people under his subordinates come over, the deity will come over. If there is a kind. See if I beat you or not. It's over. The children in the team spoke in a childish tone. When I grow up, I must join the army and follow academician Xu Teng to beat the god of death. To say that the most complicated mood is Chen Hui. This group of designers who have been in the Jinguang family for many years, it is very clear what the reputation of the god of death represents. But on the Blue Star, it's not just the group of scientists around who don't take death for granted. Even the children want to hide and hide. Is it so shameless? Just now, he also saw the others 2 interstellar battleships, the Tiger Shark model, the 2nd generation interstellar main battleship. Although it is a knockout, it can't compare with the latest generation of space battleships, but, with the character of the lackeys of the Reaper, they will definitely assemble them into a very dangerous battleship coupled with some small aircraft. They were a little uneasy when they thought of this. He turned his head and asked the accompanying Zhang Ying and others, don't you feel nervous? Nervous? Zhang Ying didn't understand what they meant, and the latter subconsciously covered his forehead. Isn't it that you don't worry about failure? Academician Tuzi, who was standing next to him, finally had a rare smile on his face when he heard these words. How is it possible? We have academicians who here. I know you may not believe it. It doesn't matter. You will find out if you look at it again. Look, what can you know? Although some of your technologies are indeed comparable to interstellar civilization, but, as far as the quantity is concerned, if there is no perfect production line. Just thinking of this, he made an expression of disbelief because, only when I thought about the quantity, I saw the extremely dazzling red fighter planes appearing on the screen. Chen Hua came to the position of supervisor step by step, relying on technology, and he has strict requirements for the components and curves of the whole machine. But when he saw Red Dragon number 1 and number 2, his breathing became rapid. This is what Your Excellency Xu Teng designed at Blue Star. This time, Academician Tuozi took the initiative to come back, and the whole person's expression was red. It's as if it was designed by itself, thinking in another direction. The design is his student's. It is not equivalent to his own design. Just when Chen Hu hadn't reacted, the surrounding battleship designers noticed another strange sight. That is this red ocean. Why does it seem like it has no end? These are allies. It's yours? The person who asked this sentence couldn't help swallowing. Only as a scientific researcher can we know what it means that Blue Star can produce so many starfighters. Well, there's more. This time, it was Deng Yinglei who took the call. It was so cool just now that Academician Tuozi was all installed. It was finally his turn to have the chance, but he couldn't give up. And also, Chen Hu, who was standing aside, almost bit his tongue as far as the number of Red Dragon number 1 and number 2 just now. He roughly substituted it, and included the artificial intelligence of the flagship. Only artificial intelligence with that kind of computing power can reach this level. But why does Blue Star have this level of artificial intelligence? It shouldn't. Xu Teng. Yes, it must be Your Excellency Xu Teng. Now he understood a little why Xu Teng was so calm from the very beginning to the call with Hai Luo just now. Others have already made up their minds. At this time, Xu Teng was watching various data in the room. Let all the situation of the war be handed over to Xinghu to control. There won't be any problems, right? No, isn't this still me assisting in the back? Hearing this, he breathed a sigh of relief. Have you calculated the approximate route of the 2 spaceships? Not yet, but the monitoring stations of the solar system defense line have all been activated. If there are traces, they can be found at the first time. The enemy we have to face should not only have 2 spaceships, there should be. Before he could finish speaking, a siren was heard. Warn. Unidentified object, approaching the outer periphery of the solar system defense. Space energy fluctuates violently, and is analyzing. In the center of the screen, various data are being flipped. 2 behemoths appeared at the farthest point of the lens, and even so far away, blurry shadows could still be seen. The energy analysis is successful, the target is confirmed, and the comers are the 2 Tiger Shark interstellar battleships. Boom. When the target appeared, the monitoring stations around the defense line were all lit up with red bright spots. The target strike was directly executed. Commander Willa, here we are, here we are. Chapter 510. This is the war I want. The younger brothers around were reporting to Commander Willa because the Tiger Shark starship deliberately pursues speed, and abandons part of the armor. It is relatively insufficient in terms of defense capability. When an interstellar battleship performs a wormhole jump, it will turn off the shield of its own battleship. In this case, the position of the wormhole jump is more important. No one wants to be beaten when the shield is at its weakest. As soon as it comes out, well, then you, as Willa was about to give the next order, an alarm sounded from the battleship system. Warn. Being locked by neutron bombs. Warn. There are a lot of energy fluctuations in front, which is suspected to be a multi-composite killing weapon. Warn. It is expected to be attacked for 3 seconds, and the shield of the battleship is being opened. This series of warning sounds made both of them stunned. Before the wormhole jump, they deliberately used the interstellar survey map released by the High Priest before, and even the so-called Blue Star distance is very far away from this position. Logically speaking, it is absolutely impossible to be impacted. So, what is the reason? They can be beaten right here from the information we got. Isn't this a blue star that has just stepped into the interstellar civilization? Could it be that the information is wrong? Just when this idea came up, the Tiger Shark interstellar battleship shook violently. Boom rumble, a series of explosions sounded. The shield of the interstellar battleship should not be underestimated. After all, in terms of tonnage, it is only 1 level worse than the flagship. Even if it is eliminated, it is still a second-generation main battleship. Although it is not comparable to the latest generation, it still has a great advantage in the face of such small interstellar encounters. After shaking for 3 seconds, the Tiger Shark gradually stabilized. PenFun Library starting the self-test program. The self-test is completed, the shield has been fully opened. Battle damage inspection in progress. The rear cord is damaged to a certain extent, the air pressure chamber leaks, and some small interstellar spacecraft and shuttles are damaged. Part of the weapon was drawn into the interstellar environment, and the air pressure in the rear cockpit has been turned off. The route to the rear cockpit has been blocked. Hearing this series of reports, Willa's tentacles kept extending. This is a manifestation of his extreme mood swingsdom. When the 2 interstellar Tiger Shark battleships with good labor and capital came to fight Blue Star, they thought it was the way to crush them all the way. The results of it? There is no so-called horizontal push all the way, and it was even ambushed when he jumped out of the wormhole. Ambushed by a civilization that is more rubbish than your own. This matter, no matter who it is, It is a great shame also. The rear compartment is where weapons are placed. I haven't hit anyone yet, and others have destroyed part of my weapon. The little brother next to him was frightened like a quail, shivering and not daring to speak for fear. If he accidentally said the wrong thing, he would be thrown into the interstellar space by Willa, still the kind that doesn't give any protection. I will release my order. This time, if all the defense forces of Blue Star are annihilated, the entire planet will be slaughtered directly. Men are slaves, and all women are playthings. Afterwards, the brothers on the battleship can plunder the Blue Star for an hour. Originally, the god of death gave them an order to destroy Xu Teng, but they didn't say what Blue Star wanted. However, this time, the rear cord was broken as soon as it came out of the wormhole, thoroughly angered Willa's desire to kill. If you dare to resist, then the whole planet will accompany you to hell. The reputation of our Reaper fleet is awe-inspiring in the entire interstellar space. Some people dare to resist. The Federation of Light has not seen it for nearly 100 years. Commander Willa is wise, and I'll give the order right away. The younger brother is very happy. This time maybe there will be fresh delicious food to taste. After watching the younger brother leave, Willa waved. A virtual screen appeared, and all the data came into view. He didn't forget how he broke through the flagship's defense line, and there was a full-scale flagship fleet fighting against the Golden Light clan for them. There wasn't enough time for a war of attrition with Xu Teng, of course. He still remembers one thing, that is, Yang Xingchen of the Endless Race is still hiding in the dark well, at the right time, prepare to do a critical damage to Xu Teng. You came here, so don't think about staying out of it. Isn't it just a coordinate point? Just give it to you. Enter a series of commands on the virtual screen. Whether to transmit the known wormhole targets and various firepower data to public channels without encryption. Generally, military-related messages are all transmitted in encrypted channels, and it will keep changing the channel to prevent others from intercepting and getting important news. However, there is another way, that is to enter the unencrypted public channel transmission, which is mainly for publishing public information between star domains, and Willa did it for only one purpose, that is to remind Yang Xingchen of the Infinity Clan directly from the bright spot. Even an interstellar battleship like me was caught off guard by them, not to mention those of you who walk in the dark. Can your auxiliary system be stronger than that of a starship? Obviously not possible, so hurry up and get down to business. Don't think about it anymore. Just do everything without knowing it. As the series of progress bars scrolled past, messages were displayed on the screen. The public transmission of the message is completed. Then, a new message popped up. Whether to implement the Blitzkrieg plan, this is Willa's plan, and a long war will definitely not last. And I heard that Xu Teng is a citizen of Blue Star. Who cares very much in this case? Just go directly to Blue Star's headquarters, destroy Xu Teng and slaughter the entire Blue Star directly. Yes, the order has been communicated, and the route is being arranged. A red line is constantly being planned, and finally an optimal route is concluded. The route planning is completed and is accelerating. When the two Tiger Shark starships approached the detection point again, this time it didn't wait for the weapons to be refilled. Willa fought back. Boom rumble. The detection points on both sides of the route were covered by various firepower, and they were crushed abruptly. Looking at the monitoring points that were instantly evaporated on both sides, Willa felt relevant. This is the war I want. Chapter 511. It in number 039, S. Really you. Just as Willa led the Tiger Shark fleet all the way towards the Blue Star, a new small wormhole opened behind it. 3 people emerged from it as soon as it came out. The nearby monitoring points that had not been completely destroyed launched missiles here. Space turbulence. Yang Xingchen waved his hand, and the space in front slowly collapsed, forming a small vortex that absorbed the launched missiles. Boom. In the next second, a bright light appeared in the space, but there was no fire emerging from it. And even the sound of the explosion was slowly being swallowed up. It seems that the messages sent by Willa's public channel are all correct and not concealed. The location where the 3 wormholes landed was near the monitoring point he sent, and as soon as they came out, they would definitely be attacked. The reason they did this was to prove that Willa's message was correct. Because of this journey, the 3 also felt that something was wrong. Obviously it is a Blue Star that can only connect with the interstellar civilization. No matter from which aspect, there will definitely be various loopholes in information security. Stealing information from it is easy to do. Moreover, the Shadow Guard who followed is a professional who has unlocked 3 generations of gene engines. But what about the end? They found nothing. There have been attempts to break through the interstellar network and search for loopholes in it, but that time, the 2 professionals worked outside the repository for 2 hours. Not only did they not find any loopholes, but they even almost exposed their own position. From that moment on, the 3 of them had a bad feeling in their hearts. Isn't it provoking a civilization that shouldn't be provoked? So, After receiving the news from Willa's public channel, they were a little skeptical about the security of the information. After all, both groups knew the other existed. Moreover, they all want the other party to be a pawn to test. Danger you come, I will take the head. What is a teammate? This is a temporary teammate. It's just that they have more information than Willa. That is, they tested Blue Star's information security and found that they could not break through. A nascent civilization cannot have such a level of defense, which is why illustrates a problem. Blue Star's weakness may be faked. The real reaction was far more serious than they thought. Hearing Yu Yangxingchen's words, a hoarse voice emerged from the shadow beside him. We don't have much time, and we can't spend it on Blue Star all the time. There are other things in the Infinity Clan that we need to deal with. From the perspective of the situation, Willa completely wants to shorten the time of the battle. After all, the flagship encounter not far away is about to come to an end, and his goal in the past is very big. It's not just the Shadow Guard who thinks this way, but also for Yu Yangxingchen. The target of the three people is much smaller than that of the spaceship. The other party crushed him all the way, obviously telling Xu Teng, the labor and management are here to mess with you, come out and die. From the records, Blue Star has never really fought an encounter such as an interstellar battleship. That means, the other party will definitely put all the main energy on them. As soon as the guard force was deployed, Xu Teng had a lot less force around him, saying that the other party is not paying attention, infiltrating the vicinity, and then obliterating it is not an unachievable goal. What is Yu Yangxingchen's final purpose? Isn't that just killing Xu Teng? At the same time, time is equally tied on both sides. Damn it, it turns out that Willa sent us the information through public channels, and it already conveyed the meaning of cooperation with us. This kind of cooperation, there is no way to refuse. Up to now, Yu Yangxingchen finally understood a little why did Willa make such a decision in an instant when she suffered such a big loss. The information that was finally obtained is transmitted to them without reservation at all. If nothing else, it just means the same thing, since everyone has a purpose. Come on board quickly and implement this plan with us. What does the young master mean? The hoarse voice came, still the one without any emotion, then follow directly behind Willa as he wishes. They come from the bright side, and we come from the dark side. Anyway, everyone has one goal, to kill Xu Teng. The two were not surprised when they heard the news from Shadow Guard, considering Wei's thinking, this is absolutely the best way. Don't say anything, just get rid of Xu Teng first. As for the follow-up reaction, that is the last thing to say. Isn't it a remote civilization in the solar system? In their eyes, it is no different from a civilization that has just opened up wasteland. Then let's follow Willa's spaceship first. The safest route on this road should be theirs. Even if Yu Yangxingchen is their young master, they still need to tell the Shadow Guard about the course of action before taking action. Otherwise, it is easy to invite disgust in all kinds of unnecessary trouble. Scratch. The space in front of him turned into a ripple shape, followed by a small jumping wormhole behind Willa's starship. They left a sign signal. It can accurately follow the direction of action of the warship, and at the same time, it can know the approximate location of the opponent. Of course, Willa knew all this. The reason for doing this is to show your sincerity and reassure the other party as for the completion of this mission, what the two forces originally looked like. And what will they look like in the end? Well, water does not make river water. Inside the bright command room, Xu Teng was standing in front of the big screen watching various data reports. The monitoring sites in front have all been destroyed, most of which were made by the Tiger Shark spaceship, and a small part was made by another group of people. Hearing this, Xu Teng raised his eyebrows. Yo, it's still here. It didn't disappoint, and even the timing wasn't guessed wrong. Tune up the video of another group of people. Clap la la. The screen changed instantly and became a different look. Dim stars can be seen in the distance, and the devices at the detection side are all functioning normally. The next second, 3 dark figures appeared in the video. The missile was activated instantly and launched towards that side. Most of the weapons were blasted towards the starship, and only missiles remained. But before he got close, the space ahead suddenly became chaotic. Immediately afterwards, the missiles that were fired in the past disappeared. The video content came to an abrupt end. It's really you. Chapter 512, Rat Crossing the Street. Although the video did not capture those figures, it was just the moment when the missile entered the space and was swallowed directly. However, the features about space are all too obvious, and the location of the monitoring point is this part of the edge of the solar system, not the interstellar where the Federation of Light is located. After all these conditions are met, the person concerned becomes only one person, that is, Yu Yangxingchen. Can you roughly analyze how many people are around Yu Yangxingchen? The period of being beaten has not passed for a long time. To be more precise, Yu Yangxingchen is still listed on the homepage of the official website of the Victo clan. After all, If you want to compete for the core competitors of the Bright Federation, you will not even have this IQ. Being able to have the courage to come to Blue Star can only mean that the Infinity Clan has dispatched people to him from all aspects of analysis. The person dispatched will be his father more or less, not the endless race, because the representative of the endless race has not been determined. It is not a good thing to waste the power of the family so much. From the analysis of the energy shadow group, there are 2 or 3 people on the other side. Coupled with the recent database invasion, a combination of various factors, there is a 90% probability that the other party can be determined to be 3 people. You mean the recent database intrusion? Is there a possibility that it might be the work of the Death Fleet? Impossible. The Death God Fleet does not have such a high level of invasion. At the same time, because they need to avoid the pursuit of the Interstellar Court, in terms of technology, they will lag behind the interstellar mainstream by a lot. 3 people. Judging from the number of people alone, the other party is somewhat arrogant. The civilization behind Xu Teng is supported by the entire Blue Star. However, if the background of the other party is counted, the Federation of Light has transferred the guards of the main star. Must be battle-hardened. Those people have dealt with a lot of these things and have a lot of experience. And Xu Teng, a year ago, was just a technician who mainly focused on scientific research. As if seeing Xu Teng's concern, Xing made a sound. If it is only in ordinary circumstances, the current situation must be unfavorable, compared with others. Don't you still have a baby at the bottom of the box? That is the power of the mecha. The last time you didn't just use the power of the primary mecha to break the record of the restraint circle. Moreover, Yang Xingchen Xiong, it's just guessing that you have the power of primary mecha. I don't know, you will have the power of advanced mecha. When fighting, if based on my calculation analysis, add your advanced mecha power. Or guess what, in the end, who will be the hunter and who will be the prey? Xu Teng rubbed his chin. A plan slowly emerged in his heart. I have a question. They are not the best at distinguishing people from the endless race. If I remember correctly, their innate skills are in the space. Yes, it is the spatial turbulence, as well as various types that can stabilize the space and lock the space. That is, if I make a mech that is about the same size as me wearing a mech of the same size. Can't they tell the difference? After asking this sentence, Xing was silent for a while. Various data materials and various models appear on the screen. 10 seconds later, Xing's voice sounded. Through big data operations, various data analysis, plus the character analysis of Yang Xingchen, it is true that the other party will not recognize you at the first time. If you choose someone, every move is more like what you did that day, after fighting with you. I can't tell the difference for a long time. Hearing this, Xu Teng's eyes lit up. If you say that, then you can do it. Not to mention, the power of the Guardian and the primary mecha. These 2 things add up, but there are many people who are exactly the same as me. At this time, Willa really felt the joy of being crushed all the way. Report Commander Willa, and found the same monitoring site in front. The other party has launched an attack on us for the first time, but this time all our shields are turned on, and there is no damage to the Tiger Shark battleship harm. At the same time, some of the surrounding monitoring sites were deliberately let loose, and their normal operation was cut off. All the locations of these monitoring sites were recorded and sent out on the Interstellar Open Channel. Until now, the younger brothers did not understand why Commander Willa did this. This kind of intelligence involving military facilities is often classified. It can be sent directly through the Interstellar Public Channel, as long as anyone in this area can receive it. Moreover, there is an even more puzzled action. The Warship's data department has detected that someone is tracking the Tiger Shark starship. What's more is that the other party marked the interstellar target on it. They walked in front, and the other party kept following behind. Isn't what we do properly just act to clear the way for each other? When the results were reported, Willow just said calmly, I have known about this for a long time. The reason for this is to make the other party stand on the same line with us. One line. The younger brother was so confused at the time, he almost blurted out, Commander Willa, are you a little out of your mind? We are the fleet under the god of death that everyone is calling to beat. How can anyone be willing to stand in a team with us? When I thought about it like this, I saw that the monitoring points marked to be released on the battleship were all blown up. Look, didn't the other party just give me a response? Willa, who was standing in front of the screen, said with a smile on her face, it's really coming. When I saw that this monitoring point was bombed, the younger brother was stunned. Stammered said at this moment, he seemed to finally understand what Commander Willa said. Of and in the entire known interstellar space, there is a common truth, that is, there are no permanent enemies, only permanent interests. Otherwise, do you really think that the god of death, plus us who belong to his name, can always survive. Is it just because we run fast? Obviously not. If it wasn't for someone behind it, how could we have been alive to this day? That was on the Interstellar Most Wanted list of the Federation of Light. Although the content of the speech is a little bit tragic, but the truth of it makes the younger brother feel a sudden awakening. Commander Willa, then we now just rush past it. It's not just a small blue star. Lord Death has specially explained that Xu Teng is not to be messed with, so you must be cautious. Now it seems that it is not the same as the mouse crossing the street. Commander Willa is wise. And the other side doesn't dare to come out. When we slaughter that blue star, watch him. At this moment, the Tiger Shark battleship suddenly made a series of poor contact sounds. The next second, a slightly playful voice appeared. Oh, who are you saying is like that, street rat? Are you trying to laugh at me? If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 513. The sudden sound startled everyone, in particular Commander Willa's expression instantly turned gloomy. Others can break through the defense system of the Tiger Shark battleship, which shows 1 point. In the field of artificial intelligence, the opponent's computing power will be higher than theirs. Their plans, as well as the deployment and storage of various weapons and firepower. Maybe the other party has already figured it out, and then there is really no privacy at all. Xu Teng, is that you? Willa asked with a gloomy face. That's right. Haven't you been looking for me all the time? Why, now that I'm out, you don't seem to welcome me very much? I think about it, it stopped here for a while. Did I startle you when I came out? Why didn't I think of the defense of the Tiger Shark starship? Why can I break through? The little brother standing in front of the screen couldn't help but nod. Who would have thought of this writing? We didn't even finish our sentence, and you came out also. Isn't Blue Star a not so great civilization? Along the way, we all rolled over. Originally thought it was an all-round suppression, but looking at it now, it seems that this loss is something that Blue Star doesn't care about at all. Snapped. Seeing the little brother nodding in agreement, Willa slapped him directly. You are still doing this in front of my face, Xu Teng. Since you know that we are here, you must understand the gap between our civilizations to some extent. In this case, I advise you to capture it as soon as possible, and go back to the domain of the God of Death with us obediently. Otherwise, before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Xu Teng. Otherwise, you will perform a projection of death on the Blue Star, and then perform a global live broadcast and be beaten. Oh, I almost forgot. As far as this is concerned, you are indeed the disciples of the God of Death, and this kind of business is already familiar. How about another one this time? You? Willa's tentacles stood up again, and Xu Teng's emotions were stirred up again. By the way, I forgot to tell you. The monitoring site is only the first level. If you can really threaten Blue Star, let's take a look at the next ones. Longo has a plan, you probably don't know, so I'll give you a hint. At this moment, Xu Teng's voice changed to that indifferent tone. Said, close the door and beat the dog. Hiss. After Xu Teng finished saying those words, the screen of the interstellar battleship instantly darkened. Not only the screen, but even the lights were all turned off in an instant. Warship security systems are under a full-scale attack. Part of the data in the database has been lost, and defense is being organized. Starting to restart. A new command password is being generated. A link with the flagship is breaking. Hearing this series of voices, the younger brother's face turned black. When this series of incidents happened, it was just to illustrate 1 point. This time, the Tiger Shark starship is really alone, and the link with the flagship is to determine the positioning of each other and to send messages at critical times. In this way, even if something really happened, you can still ask for the help of the flagship. But after this disconnection, no one will know their situation even if they die. Here, close the door. Hit the dog. It's really like that. Facing the situation in front of her, Willow was annoyed. She never imagined that things would unfold in this way. Every crusade in the past was guaranteed, but now, it was as if he was being chased and beaten, and he was about to be beaten to death. The self-check of the battleship system is successful, and the battleship has been successfully remastered. The monitoring system is being turned on, the protective shield is restarted, and the path is being replanned. Starships all have a protection system that reroutes whenever they are hacked. There is only one purpose, and that is to prevent the battleship from falling into a dangerous encirclement. At this time, the younger brother was sweating profusely, because Xu Teng's last sentence was clearly intended to threaten, as if some important surprise was waiting for them. Of course, Often this kind of surprise from the other party is likely to turn into fight in an instant. Willa is also secretly speculating, if they're all the way through the barrier, is Xu Teng deliberately let them do it? What about Yang Xingchen, who is following behind? Don't know it. If you know it, then it's really an asshole. As a result, when reinstated, the battleship that tested the function instantly gave everyone a surprise warn. A large number of fighter jets were detected ahead. Warn. We are in a encirclement. All the staff on the battleship were stunned. No, we can't hear it wrong. To form an encirclement of interstellar warships, how much will the number of fighters on the other side reach? At this moment, Tiger Shark's interstellar battleship screen slowly opened. Drip, drip, drip. The sound was always on, and every sound is accompanied by the appearance of a red dot. This is, the little brother couldn't believe his eyes. They've been working on Tiger Shark for so long. They know what that means. Just didn't expect. Why Xu Teng has so many starfighters? Willa's face turned black. He reacted in an instant and yelled at his younger brother, quick, turn on all the defense systems for me. Where's the shield? Where's the jammer? Shuttles, drones, let me go. Damn, if you don't hurry up, we will all be gone. Do you understand? At this time, the command hall of the battleship was in chaos, and a series of orders were all sent from here. In the distance, the fighter planes surrounding the battleship finally turned on their weapon devices. All of a sudden, beams of different colors shot towards the battleship. Boom, boom, boom. The yellow shield has suffered the impact of various energies because the number of opposing fighters is too large. The superimposed energy impact even the battleships cannot withstand. Crash, la la la. Some unfixed things on the battleship began to sway as the battleship swayed. A beeping sound started to pop up frantically on the display screen. Warn. The ship's energy shield is falling. The toughness of the shield. 80%. The energy part was attacked, and part of the energy leaked. The toughness of the shield. 75%. What? 70? Willow wondered if she had heard it wrong. What the hell is this? Are you really going to stage a set of peaks staring at the elephants? No. Why does a small fighter have such energy damage? Chapter 514 Overload State. Compared with the starship, the Red Dragon 1 is really nothing. Whether it is the size or the weapons that can be carried, it is completely different. But it is such an interstellar fighter. Why can it bring so much damage to the Tiger Shark battleship after being assembled? Not by chance at this time. The same is true for another Tiger Shark battleship, and the artificial intelligence in the cabin has been making noises. The shield toughness of the battleship. 90%. The shield toughness of the battleship. 80%, because when jumping through the wormhole, he was not hit by a concentrated fire. The rearguard compartment was not damaged, and the overall loss was not large. However, the drop in the toughness of the shield in a single round is also very scary. Commander Wei, should we continue to execute tactics? The commander of another Tiger Shark battleship now has some doubts about Willa's tactics because, from the current situation, mostly it was a trick, and even Xu Teng was able to invade their battleship, and said something in front of everyone. There is a tactic called, close the door and beat the dog. Have you heard of it? The commander at the back asked the battleship's artificial intelligence to search the interstellar network. The killing point is that you can't find other information on the local interstellar network, but if you want to talk about closing the door and hitting the dog, it is really a lot of searches. It's okay not to look at it. Take a look. Commander's face turned black. What the heck? In any case, we are all the main force under the banner of death. But in front of the other party, what are these? A creature with its tail tucked under a beating? Moreover, he kept whimpering and expressing his grievances. A group of fleets in the interstellar space that could make the enemy frightened by the wind. Finally likened to this kind of team, who do you look down on? Originally wanted to be tough, but the Red Star fighters appeared in all directions and the attacks that seemed to never stop. They were really scared. Commander Willa, or, let's find a way to break out of the encirclement. Break out. Willa turned her head and said angrily as if she had heard something incredible, with such a civilization, we still need to break out of the siege? What are we driving? But the spaceship, impossible, absolutely impossible. Here from the commander of the family started to get angry, and the younger brother didn't dare to talk too much, but he couldn't help but muttered in his heart, what's impossible? We are surrounded and beaten now, but we are. The current situation made Willa feel a little tricky. But there is no despair. He is good at strategizing and keeping the situation under his control. In fact, it is true. Otherwise, the endless race will not be forced to stand on their side and become grasshoppers in a line not long after they are discovered. But what makes him uncomfortable is that the appearance of Xu Teng made his plan a little deviated. It was clearly that he calculated other people's affairs, but he was inexplicably calculated by others. It's not a big problem. Although there are many fighters on the opposite side, The interstellar battleship is the overlord under the flagship. No amount of mosquitoes can change anything in the face of absolute strength. What's more, there are the endless clan on the dark side, plus their words. The ultimate goal may not be absolutely completed, such as the slaughter of the Blue Star, but just to obliterate Xu Teng. That's absolutely achievable. Willa waved and called out the virtual screen. How many neutron bombs are there in the weapon bay? And all the powerful weapons will be transferred out. There are 50 neutron bombs in storage, all of which can be loaded on the suicide drone. Although the opposite side can use firepower to weave the net, there will eventually be a suicide drone that can pass through, and other powerful weapons include antimatter nuclear bombs, high explosive bombs. The younger brothers around listened, and the cold sweat kept breaking out. He had followed Commander Willa for many years, and he had rarely seen such a calm place compared with the prudence of strategizing in the past. Willa is now like a cornered person. It's just that compared with a reality, the positioning of the flagship has been cut off. They have absolutely no news of their flagships, nor can the flagships be able to locate them. It is known that the frontier of the universe is very large. Once the positioning is removed, it is really similar to wandering in the interstellar space. In this case, it was piled up by the opponent using a sea of tactics. The shield has been knocked down. So much toughness in a short period of time, and anyone's mentality will happen. A lot variety when it comes to tactics at this point. Xu Teng, who didn't even show up on the other side, was already a lot better than their Willa commander. From the inner part, it began to gradually disintegrate. The opponent's fighting spirit slowly led it into a predicament. Let it try the taste of despair. And from the current situation, Xu Teng has indeed reached his destination. If these lethal weapons are launched at one time, can the Tiger Shark warship throw off this group of interstellar fighters immediately? A series of models began to be built, and a large amount of data was slowly imported. After calculation, if the speed of the Tiger Shark battleship can be pushed to the highest level, there is an 80% chance of being able to rush out of the encirclement, but the final result is that the subsequent energy supply cannot be connected immediately. The battleship is in an overloaded state and needs 2 minutes to just overload. When the commanders of the Tiger Shark battleship heard this word, the expressions on their faces were a little dignified. If it is in normal times, even if the Tiger Shark is in a state of overload, there will be no accidents in 2 minutes. The defense will drop sharply. Just rest for 2 minutes, and there won't be any problems anyway. But if it is on the battlefield, overloading will be a fatal problem. The defense has dropped significantly, which means that in these 2 minutes, only passive beatings can be achieved. If you encounter a battleship of the same level, it is really a dead place. Many commanders had a tangled look on their faces, and the battleship had been automatically fighting back. But it's that kind of counterattack. It really can't affect the starfighter like a swarm on the opposite side. I don't know which one of the designers who made the interstellar battleship got it wrong. Why is there such a strong shield? And the golden shield on the opposite side seems to have the effect of absorbing damage, not to mention knocking down those interstellar fighters. Even breaking the shield is not an easy thing to do. Warren. The toughness of the shield continued to decline, and the number of opponent's fighters did not continue to decline. Warren. Shield toughness has dropped to 50% at this moment. Willow was heartbroken and slammed the launch button in front of her. Call me. Chapter 515 Execution of the Breakout Plan. This time, the surrounding commanders also noticed a little. If it goes on like this, let alone how many starfighters they will be able to shoot down. In the end, it will even be consumed alive in this place. In this comparison, it is still a good result to force a breakthrough. Maybe, in the end, it will give him a chance to survive. As for the last overloaded state, it is nothing compared to it. If nothing else, the other party is just a blue star who has just stepped into the interstellar civilization. This sky-filled fighter plane surpassed everyone's cognition. So, this also means 1 point. The other party has put all its military strength on the bright side. What closed the door and beat the dog is just a sentence of forced calm. In fact, all the family assets were taken out, and this wave of offensive was overcome by others. Then there is the slaughter. Xu Teng? What kind of thing? In the end, he will kneel and beg us for mercy. Let us let him go. Many people have such guesses in their hearts. Therefore, this time, when Commander Willa took the button, no one objected, and everyone even had some expectations in their hearts. The family has been hollowed out, and there is such a war. Don't you want to laugh at me to death? The unmanned suicide shuttle is being distributed, and the neutron bomb has been assembled. Antimatter nuclear bombs, high explosive bombs, have been assembled and become the next launch echelon. The energy of the Tiger Shark battleship has been turned on, and the backup energy has also entered the state of requisition. Confirm the last command again, whether to issue an order to break through. Yes. At this moment, not only Commander Willa, But all the commanders present had only one thought: if we don't break through, we will become the first interstellar warship in interstellar history to be hunted by fighter jets at the same time, with a reputation of the Death God fleet. Where should the faces of the brothers go? When Willie finished saying this, all the lights on the battleship dimmed. This is to put all the energy into a standby state, so that the warship can directly achieve the effect of breaking through in a short time. Next second, a large number of unmanned shuttles are released from the inside of the Tiger Shark battleship, which the first ones used to attract firepower in the entire interstellar. The unmanned shuttle is the fastest category because of the pursuit of the ultimate speed. All the useless parts are saved, even the armor on the fuselage can be saved as much as possible, and only one important part is installed. Bang bang bang. The first batch of shuttles attracted most of the firepower. And even the interwoven firepower network would have certain loopholes. Some shuttles passed through the firepower network and came to the Red Dragon number 1. It's just that it didn't explode because it didn't carry a high-energy bomb with a boom. It directly hit the shield and exploded at the same time. All the Red Dragon fighters received Xinghu's voice during this time. Models are being built to imitate enemy tactics. Import the intercepted data into the model. The import is successful, and the data model is being established. The model is established. When the other party arranged the shuttle to charge again, all the Red Dragon fighters retreated 5 kilometers, pretending to be hit by the bomb, deliberately made a loophole in the defense line and invited them into the urn. Academician Xu has established a new front in the rear. At this time, everyone who controls the fighter has an expression that I understand. Isn't it just releasing water? Isn't it acting? We can do this. It is destined to be clearly airing Netizens. At this time, in the Tiger Shark battleship, the second wave of unmanned shuttles was released from the inside. Compared with a previous wave, this time it was fully loaded with neutron bombs. The huge screen displayed the various states of the shuttle, and every officer of the battleship was extremely nervous because they have regarded all this as Xu Teng's last family property. As long as these are broken through, the task of decapitation can be completed perfectly. Pen Fun Library. Those who are more able to make up their minds have begun to imagine how this war will end. The energy of the shield has been adjusted to the maximum, and the backup energy has been imported. The signal jammer is always in preparation, and the positions of all surrounding fighters are already in the model. Even Commander Willa couldn't help but let his palms go out when he heard the sound of these sentences. Sweat. The starfighter on the opposite side is still firing saturated firepower, but some careful people have begun to find doubts pulled back a bit. They seem to have moved back a lot. As soon as he finished speaking, Willa replied, "This is normal. Compared with warships, this kind of fighter is at an absolute disadvantage in terms of attack power and size. Although we were caught off guard for the first time, in the long run, if they kept us besieged here, they would deliberately come to court death. If we compare it comprehensively, when we carry out new actions in the future, the other party will definitely have certain preparations, especially the first wave of unmanned shuttles has smashed into their faces. At this moment, deliberately maintaining the encirclement, there is an urge to deliberately die." Commander Willa's analysis and reasoning, coupled with that indifferent mood, is more convincing. The surrounding officers couldn't help nodding their heads. Commander Willa has a point. I just said that theory is theory after all, and this level of practice is more exciting. Listening to the praising voices around, Willa couldn't help nodding her head. However, the only thing that felt a little wrong was the little brother who raised ups at first glance. It makes sense. But why do I always have a feeling that everything in reality has nothing to do with what you think? Is it possible that the other party did this on purpose? It's not the first time the other party has done this. Coming, someone reminded everyone, because this batch of shock-fire unmanned shuttles all have real stuff on them. Neutron bombs, as well as antimatter bombs, plus various types of bombs were hit in an instant. The rays of light of various colors continued to spread, shrouding everything around them. The lighting of the Tiger Shark starship was affected again, and some of the overhead lighting equipment burst directly. Shield toughness 40%. The backup energy is being mobilized urgently. The energy is called up, and the speed is increased. Please prepare for the impact, and the breakout plan will be implemented. Chapter 516. A series of voices instantly raised the attention of everyone on the battleship. Quick, quick, go back to your position. The speed of breaking through will reach the limit of the Tiger Shark battleship in an instant. If there is no protection device, it will be easily injured. Officers came to the prepared seats like rabbits. Skakuka. The safety system was introduced in advance and it worked instantly. One by one fixing device fixed everyone. Although everyone at this time seemed a little embarrassed, everyone had only one wish in their hearts, that is, we must break through the siege and let Xu Teng in the rear know what is the charm of the interplanetary battleship. You guys dare to compete with our famous fleet, really looking for death all over the plaza. You have to say, Xu Teng really has you, and if you take out all the last family property in an instant, aren't you afraid that the other party will give you a fatal attack? In the next second, the speed of the battleship was instantly pulled to the hiss boom rumble. The feeling of pushing on the back will get up, and everyone's body is pulling back just as a man is walking forward. The soul is chasing after him only. This time is different because, this time, the speed of the battleship was full. In order to break through the siege, everyone's first wish is only one. Xu Teng, you wait for us. If we don't slaughter Blue Star, wouldn't we be humiliating the reputation of the Death God fleet with those shuttle energy bombs clearing the way? Everything went a lot smoother. All the obstacles in front of him disappeared in an instant, achieved the effect of clearing the field. Scan the number of fighters around, exceeding the effective distance of the attack. The enemy's shield has been damaged, and the preliminary judgment is that all of them are in a state of paralysis. Combining with the current state, it is possible to open a short-distance wormhole for jumping. The other party does not have a flagship, so it is impossible to block the space of this party. The opening of the wormhole will not be restricted. Do you want to open the wormhole now for jumping? Wormhole jumping. This is a plan that no one has ever imagined at first. I was thinking of using the backup energy to reach the limit speed of the battleship in an ultra-short period of time. Finally, use the limit speed to get rid of all the surrounding fighter jets. From the plan, come on, it's a little more dangerous. However, it was the most useful solution at the time. Of course, there is also a problem, that is, it will eventually enter an overloaded state, become a living target and get beaten. Just like that, you can't fight back now. The other party has pulled the distance so far. Sure enough, a lower civilization is a lower civilization, and there is still a lack of experience in interstellar warfare. No, there may be another reason. Their civilization itself is not very good, and they can only build this kind of fighter, so they want to scare the opponent with a number. The more you think about it, the more reasonable it is. It was an indigenous civilization that once couldn't resist the projection of death. What kind of development can it have? Even if it is a right up from the back, start the short-distance wormhole jump immediately, and locate the wormhole jump point near the Blue Star. Executing command. There is an error in the wormhole positioning point, and the position cannot be located near the Blue Star. The closest distance has been prioritized. Wormhole opens. All officers saw from the top of the screen not far away, a wormhole appeared that could be passed through by the Tiger Shark starship. With a swish, the Tiger Shark interstellar battleship drilled directly into it. Quick, record all the data here, and send it out on the interstellar public channel. Let the other group receive it. In this star field, it's not just us people. Data has been sent and records are backed up. Xu Teng, I'm here. You all wait to die? The other party's wormhole has been interfered with and did not jump to the desired place at the last moment, entering another disturbed place, where at a mission Xu Teng has prepared all the defense forces. In the last time, the Tiger Shark battleship sent some messages through the interstellar public channel. These messages can be received by anyone who can pass through here. It has been intercepted. Is it turned on? At this time, in this interstellar battlefield, all the Red Dragon number 1 and Red Dragon number 2 sounded the prompt sound of Xinghu at the end. Everyone practiced seriously through Xinghu's big data construction. To be specific, give Willowim the creative false perception. Your drones have served their purpose. All of our starfighters have been affected. Not only was the shield broken, but even the main body of the fuselage was affected. This is also because the artificial intelligence of the Tiger Shark battleship will have a wrong voice broadcast just now. I have to say that in this part of the solar system, the computing power of Galaxy has already included the entire galaxy in Xinghu. As a subsystem of Galaxy, it is not difficult to cover up all these by borrowing computing power even to the point of perfection. This is also where the Tiger Shark starship can publish all kinds of data in the interstellar public channel at the end without any worries. There is not even a single job here, and all these important information are handed over to Brother Ouyang Xingchen. What is resource sharing? That is what is it? We are all people in the same warship. This is it. At this point, all the personnel have seen the information in this message. Everyone was in a happy atmosphere. Haha, I'm so happy. We just had a show with them. And everyone took it seriously. They said that this game was a complete victory. How perfect their strategy was. The result? In fact, we didn't lose a single fighter. In fact, this is the case, and none of the fighter jets involved in this operation were lost at the beginning. It was fire coverage. When the Tiger Shark battleship implemented that kind of tactic, Xinghu had already arranged all the strategies. The distance was widened in advance and was not affected. Okay, our participation is over. Let's go to the next place. I can't wait to see what will happen if the tiger shark finds us in front of them again. By the way, what is this tactic called? Luring the enemy to go deep. Yes, it is to lure the enemy into the depths. When the group of flies in the back follows the advice of the tiger shark and moves on, they will find that there is no way out. Haha, in the end, it's really closing the door and hitting the dog. Quick, quick, blow up all the red dragon fighters that need to be eliminated. Yes, when it comes to acting, the most important thing is to do a full set. Chapter 517 Xu Teng is a demon. At this time, Yang Xingqian and Shadow Guard were constantly facing the marker behind him. They haven't moved for a while. What trouble did they encounter? Probably not. According to the development of Blue Star's technology, it will not affect the Tiger Shark interplanetary battleship. One of them explained in a hoarse voice. It makes sense. The Tiger Shark interstellar battleship is also the main battleship of the second generation. On the opposite side, there is just a civilization that has just stepped into the interstellar trajectory. It's just that the marks they make will not deceive people, nor will they send a false signal when the signals were all true. Yang Xingqian's face became heavy, and he slowly expressed his guess, unless. Xu Teng. When the name was uttered, even the shadow guard beside him became silent. It stands to reason that the Death God fleet dispatched a flagship-level fleet to deal with a civilization of this level of Blue Star. It is very incomprehensible, and it can even be said to be a shock, but the reality is, I don't know why Xu Teng got involved with the Jinguang clan hero is even willing to send his own private flagship fleet, which is private. This is to put all the defensive power that belongs to him on the bright side. The interstellar court intervened again, and the nearby interstellar base transferred batches of battleship fleets. Blue Star, who originally thought that he would be crushed, was able to survive through a series of operations also. What did Xu Teng do when the opposing starship fleet broke through the defense line? No hero even went in to defend. The meaning is already obvious, which is to say something to everyone in public. The little fish of the god of death is handed over to me, and I will deal with it originally, with Yang Xingqian and the Shadow Guard. He was afraid that Willow would drive the Tiger Shark battleship all the way to crush him and kill him to quickly limit how much they can play along the way. The speed was deliberately increased constantly, just to chase the Tiger Shark battleship, but it didn't take long for them to find that the Tiger Shark battleship was parked in place for a while, and there was no progress at all. Although I don't want to admit it, if it is really Xu Teng, this possibility is not impossible. Maybe the other party also has a certain amount of secret technology under the surface. Two Sands. The hoarse voice came, but there was a hint of certainty in the tone. His Shadow Guards, they took over a lot of dirty work from the Infinity Clan. The 3-generation gene chain has been opened, and his own strength has grown a lot, and he will always rise to the top in the face of various difficulties. This shows that in the entire career of the Shadow Guard, they have killed a lot of genius-level characters. Expand the whole range to the known universe, and genius will not be so honorable, and the geniuses among them are also divided into grades. Some are rare to see in 100 years, rare to see in 1,000 years, and some are rare to see in the entire Federation. The first two. They have seen a lot, but I have to admit that Xu Teng's level is rarely seen in the entire Federation. Hateful. Yang Xingqian knows what it means for someone who can be affirmed by Shadow Guards. Bang bang bang. As the mood fluctuated, the innate skills of the endless race were released subconsciously. There was a twist in the surrounding space, and the nearby matter was constantly being swallowed. Space turbulence is the top talent skill in the entire Bright Federation. Otherwise the restraint circle will not be the most powerful artifact on the other side's interstellar wanted list. The key is to meet a warrior like Xu Teng who doesn't speak any reason. The power of the mecha is a better level. After all, the two Shadow Guards who acted as thugs glanced at each other, feeling the other's gratified emotions, and the two exchanged in low voices. Master's special turbulence has become a little more skillful. This seems to be the first breakthrough in 3 years. It seems that the appearance of Xu Teng has brought a certain sense of crisis to the young master. That's interesting. Choose a breakthrough at this time. Soon, it will be the election of family representatives. Having said that, the topic came to an abrupt end. They both tacitly did not continue to speak, but they all understood the meaning of not speaking. The Shadow Guards belong to Yang Xingqian after all. At this stage, their purpose is to make Yang Xingqian the representative of the family in the future. There is enough reputation to participate in the election of the Federation of Light today. Xu Teng has become the biggest obstacle in front of accomplishing the goal. Xu Teng must die, otherwise, it will always be the biggest difficulty. In the young master's heart both read what the other meant it at this time. Yang Xingqian spoke. Let's go, walk. The two were stunned, as if they didn't respond. The original meaning of their private communication was, If the young master did not have the courage to go, they would secretly kill Xu Teng with the news of Xu Teng's death. The demons no longer exist, but now the young master actually brought it up first. Eyes, it is indeed the person we chose. There was a hint of relief in the eyes of the two of them, and there was a kind of excitement to the person. Then when do we leave? A hoarse voice came from the shadow, and no emotion could be heard. Right now, with a wave of his hand, a small wormhole jump appeared in front of the three of them. Where was not our accomplice, since he may have been planted here? It can only explain one thing: what is hidden behind Xu Teng is really terrible. No matter what kind of mood we have to face all this, we only have one purpose, that is to hunt Xu Teng before he grows up. So, in any case, we have to go to the location near the Tiger Shark battleship to see. After saying this, Yang Xingchen said solemnly, if there is any sudden attack on the other side of the wormhole, please also trouble the two seniors to open the shield to block me. No problem. When the three arrived at their destination with a cautious attitude, they were somewhat surprised no one was ambushed behind the wormhole jump. But the entire interstellar space was filled with the wreckage of various interstellar spacecraft with no end in sight. These ruins symbolize how brutal the battles that took place here. Tiger Shark starship did not appear here. Hey, there is a public loop broadcast news. After accepting the message, Yang Xingchen waved his hand and the message was projected in front of the three of them. Haha, little brother, you should be here. From here, I will delete the marks you made. As for the reason, it's very simple. I'm going to slaughter the entire blue star in front of you. I originally thought that Xu Teng was still a character. But now it seems that it's nothing more than that. Forget it. I know you have some doubts, so I will mercifully reveal some news to you. Chapter 518. Why are there defensive positions? After watching the video, the three of them did not relax at first. The red fighter jets that filled the sky gave everyone an extremely shocking effect under the leadership of Xu Teng. Does Blue Star have this level of technology? This production line, what a complete level is required to be able to do this, and as an interstellar fighter, the strength of their weapons is somewhat outrageous. The remaining toughness of the shield. 90%, the remaining toughness of the shield. 80%, in such a short period of time. The collective burst of fire reduced the toughness of the shield so quickly. If they didn't clearly see that it was a star warship, they would have thought that Xu Teng was sending out a new generation of star warships. The subsequent development of the plot also changed too drastically. A wave of unmanned shuttles was used for path detection, followed by another wave of unmanned shuttles carrying high-energy weapons to destroy all the interstellar fighters. What do you think? After Yang Xingchen calmed down, he turned his head and asked the two seniors beside him because it was too outrageous. He didn't dare to believe the video in front of him, but just now, when he activated the detection equipment in the mecha, he did capture the fragments of the Red Dragon fighter that appeared in the video. He even used the innate ability of space turbulence to capture the fighter not far away. I personally collected the data and found that it is exactly the same as what appeared in the video. After thinking for a while, a hoarse voice came out. Although it's a bit difficult to understand, from the results, it should be true. Starfighters can't represent anything. A lot of it can prove one point: the civilization of the other side has enough strength to enter the interstellar space, but it is difficult to say what the performance will be in the interstellar space. It's not like I haven't seen fighter jets with high attack and low defense. If the opponent is in this part of the protective shield, and there is not enough level, this suicidal impact alone can really turn everything into ashes. So, it may be as Willa said. Under the leadership of Xu Teng, Blue Star's strength is not what we imagined. In this face-to-face confrontation, the other side will take all the assets of the family all pressed. Then, in one wave, Xu Teng was restored to the level of a planetary civilization. When he asked this sentence, Yang Xingchen couldn't contain his happiness at this moment. Another hoarse voice continued, "That's right, just as you guessed. Pen interest library." When the guess in his heart was confirmed, Yang Xingchen could no longer remain calm. Xu Teng. Interstellar war is not about heroism that can decide everything. Wait, if the two forces are together, what level can you achieve? This time, you are doomed to die. A comfortable voice is transmitted in this piece of interstellar space. Let's go too. With a wave of his hand, a new wormhole appeared. Compared with the last time, the jumping distance of the wormhole this time was significantly farther. The hoarse voice was interrupted by Yang Xingchen's impatient voice. It's alright, we have seen through Xu Teng. Even if while this was deliberately shown to us, how many troops can Xu Teng have left after that interstellar encounter? Moreover, There is a fleet waiting to be sentenced to death in front of him. What should we be afraid of? Don't worry, just now I felt that my grasp of space has deepened a little bit. There is absolutely no problem with self-protection. There really is an accident, isn't there? Still your group of seniors beside me. After saying these words, the atmosphere at the scene fell silent. Then the two said at the same time, "Then, let's go." When the three walked into the node where the wormhole jumped, the monitoring aspect of a broken fighter plane suddenly lit up in the distance. The data has been recorded and is being transmitted. The transfer is successful. The backup messages have all been deleted. At the same time, far away in a monitoring room of Blue Star, the screen suddenly flickered. Galaxy's prompt sounded. New monitoring data is being imported. Do you accept it? Accepting. The encrypted screen is being converted, and the conversion is successful. Audio is processed successfully. The video is not very long, only 3 minutes. While the video there were only 3 characters in it, and when all 3 appeared, a smile appeared on Xu Teng's face. Yo, it's you. It seems that all the fish have been bitten one by one, and now they are waiting to close the net. When the video ends, the Galaxy prompt sound. Do you want to start a fishing program? Start it. The order's being transmitted. The Red Dragon fighter is receiving the order, and the order is accepted successfully. The guard spaceship is receiving orders, and the order is accepted successfully. The substitute character accepts orders, and the background is shaping his identity as Xu Teng. It has been pushed to the front of each unit. The marks of the Tiger Shark starship have all been marked, and a new battle plan has been opened. If the opponent wants to use wormhole jumping to escape, it will launch the invasion data to invalidate its wormhole jumping. New signals are being vacated. Yang Xingchen will be obliterated at the highest level wherever he appears. Listening to this series of orders, Xu Teng slowly expanded his body. Hiss! A little dim silver light circulated on the Guardian's mecha, and the advanced mecha power was activated instantly. All parts of the plan were re-entered into my mind and data processing was carried out. After analyzing, Xu Teng nodded secretly and said, "The steps in the plan are correct, and there are indeed no omissions. The next step is to keep yourself in the dark, and the fake identity on the bright side has been released. In such a critical situation, it is difficult for the other party to instantly judge the truth or falsehood. Tisk tisk, it's hard to say who is the hunter and who is the prey." When he raised his hand, a small wormhole appeared, and Xu Teng walked in decisively. "Little fish, here I come." At this time, the excited Willa people felt something was wrong the moment they drove the Tiger Shark starship out of the wormhole. According to the analysis, the other party should have no ability to resist. But what is the meaning of the endless defensive position in front of you? Warn. The defense base has been detected, and the opponent has built the entire defense line on the basis of the entire floating platform. Warn has been locked. Chapter 519. When this prompt sound came out, the Tiger Shark starship directly opened the shield. Everyone still remembers that not long ago, the endless space warships surrounded the Tiger Shark battleship shield. Toughness, crazy behavior. At this moment, the endless defensive position in front of them made everyone's scalp tingle, and they remembered the fear of being dominated. Quick, import all the backup energy. We must not let the shield be broken here. We finally came here. Willa began to lose his temper. In his cognition, Xu Teng was at the end of the road, and Blue Star's last strength fell into emptiness. As long as you survive this time, let alone complete the task given by the God of Death, it is also an easy task to include the entire Blue Star in the Reaper's back garden. Result: a beautiful fantasy that was shattered as soon as we came out of the wormhole. I just came out, and you used so many weapons against me. Is this the attitude of welcoming guests? Warn. The battleship has been locked on all sides, and it is impossible to evade the opponent's attack. Please prepare for the impact of the battleship personnel. When the battleship's artificial intelligence just made a sound, the opponent's fire salvo immediately hit the battleship's shield. Boom rumble, the violent shaking sound kept swinging, and the battleship sounded all kinds of harsh sirens. Warn. The toughness of the shield continues to decline. Warn. The shield is already on the verge of shattering, and will be completely shattered within 10 minutes if there is no constant energy, and then it will affect the entire battleship. If there is no plan to deal with it, the protection of the battleship will be completely broken. When hearing this sentence, the commanders on the battleship looked extremely bad. The tentacles on Willa's body were set up again, and the whole person's mood fell into very excited emotion. The shields of the battleship were all shattered, and in the end, it was absolutely impossible to escape the consequences of being sunk. The dignified interstellar warship just shattered in front of this civilization. No, it can't be like this. Hurry up, shrink the shield, give up part of the defense, and condense most of the energy in important parts. Their defensive positions are not supported by suspended platforms, is it right? Invasion into the suspended platform. Connect all of your own firepower. With Willa's voice, everyone present also reacted. There are many divisions in a battleship, some of which are not the most important specifically, the kind that can be thrown away when these functional parts that do not fully affect the battleship are given up. It means a little bit the battleship may enter a desperate situation in the next time the positioning with the flagship has been lost, and the entire Legion has gone deep into Blue Star. If there is no courage to fight to the death, the final result of death is doomed, and in terms of time, it may only be sooner or later. If so, why not try it? Part of the shields have been closed, and the speed of energy consumption has slowed down. As soon as the voice came out, a violent explosion came from the tail of the battleship. Damn, I didn't expect Xu Teng to build a defensive position. You wait for me. If it falls into my hands, I will definitely make you unable to survive or die. The sound of the electric current was particularly evident throughout the battleship. This is one of Tiger Shark's cards, Energy Pulse Electron Cannon. It is also one of the cards of Death Civilization Pen Fun Library. In the known universe, there are some civilizations that use pure technology to develop weapons, and there are some civilizations that use religion as a foundation to build weapons that are beyond the imagination of ordinary people. And the Energy Pulse Electron Gun is. His basic structure is the pentagram of the god of death. The effect is that the energy on the warship is converted into electric current and charged into the pulse gun. And the lethality of the electronic gun can be caused by 2 points. One point is to use its own power to penetrate the shield on the opposite side, and the other point is that the pulse cannon can carry some reinforced viruses. It is especially effective for platforms that rely on information technology to support after destroying the shield on the opposite side. The virus of the electronic pulse penetrated and instantly infected the entire position to achieve the opposite effect of paralysis. So, everyone in the Tiger Shark battleship looked nervously at the progress bar at the top of the screen. In a way, this was the last resistance they could do. Energy Pulse Electron Cannon has been charged. Emission, Willa can't wait. They almost put all their hopes on this. Boom. At the moment when the command was issued, the entire battleship of Tiger Shark shook, and the whole body seemed to fall apart. A sturdy beam of several meters shot directly towards the suspended defensive position, and the yellow shield instantly activated. The dazzling beam of light filled everyone's eyes at this moment. Part of the opponent's shield is broken. The virus is being introduced. Willa's hand clenched into her fist unconsciously, and her nerves were tense. As for the other officers around, cold sweat continued to appear on their foreheads, and their nervousness reached the highest part. Parsing the other party's firewall. Parsing is successful. The virus was successfully imported, and the logic loophole is being replicated infinitely. At this moment, all the shields of the defensive position suddenly exploded, and the position in the rear was directly washed by the pulse cannon. Starting from this piece, it gradually spreads farther away. Fragments flew, and all the golden shields dimmed. Pen Fun Library. At this time, Xu Teng, who was coming out of the wormhole, received news from the galaxy. The solar system position has been broken through. The opponent successfully introduced a virus. The strength of the shield has become smaller, and the platform suspension has been affected to a certain extent. Is it urgent to repair? The defense line of the solar system is of great significance to the entire Blue Star. At the time of the construction, Xu Teng considered the possibility of virus interference. Therefore, the entire position is divided into small areas, and each area has its own anti-interference ability. The so-called anti-interference ability is to let Xing implant plugins in it, and this plugin can play a role in the fall of the position. Emergency repair. How long will it take? 5 minutes. 5 minutes. In this kind of encounter, within 5 minutes, the starship can rely on its own speed to come to another place. Then don't fix it. Let them in. It is good. Where's the Guardian ship? It's near here. Then lead them to that place. Give them hope first, and finally despair. What does it mean to kill and be punished? This is. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 520 Breakthrough of the Solar System Defense Line. Xu Teng's main target wasn't the Death Fleet. In fact, the performance of the other party has always been under Xu Teng's estimation. Unexpectedly, they fell into Xu Teng's plan from the beginning, and then they have been beaten, still getting beaten. To be specific, Xu Teng's real target is the endless race behind him. What kind of courage does Xu Yangxingchen have? He wants to fish in troubled waters in this situation after all. It is a big family on the main star of the Federation of Light, and Xu Teng is very concerned about this aspect, and this time is also a test to test the strength of the endless clan. Yang Xingjin and Xu Teng have long been on the opposite side of life and death, the kind where one person does not die, and does not end. Moreover, the federal election is coming soon. He and Halo of the Golden Light clan are already on the same front, and eventually they will inevitably develop into a whole confrontation with the endless clan. Taking precautions is what Xu Teng has been doing all the time. Especially behind the bet on the future of the entire Blue Star, the symbolic meaning is much greater, and the final decision will inevitably be much more cautious. Red Dragon Fighter, are you back? Already on the road, it is expected to reach the scene through the next wormhole jump. Let the members of the Mecha Force hide first. When the Tiger Shark ships come over, let the Guardian ships go up first. Finally, let the Red Dragon Fighters surround them. If Yang Xingjin doesn't come out, don't expose the Mecha Force members. I expect the opponent will have high-end combat power. When I can't take over, let the Mecha Force team members assist. Clear as if thinking of something, Xu Teng continued to ask, is there any news from Yang Xingjin? Receive the public news of the Tiger Shark battleship, and then open a long-distance wormhole crossing, which is not expected to appear in a short time. I have been monitoring everything around me. As long as the other party appears, it will be monitored immediately. Okay, that's all according to the original plan. By the way, Xu Teng seemed to have thought of something, and continued, send a message to Brother Halo and tell him that there is no need to worry here, and, maybe I'll send him some good news. Before the Bright Federation election, it is strictly forbidden for the big families on the main star to collude with other forces, and make something bad for the Federation. Although, every big family will secretly negotiate with the other family, but they didn't dare to cross the red line in the open, and this time the other party came to Blue Star, and the information exchange made here was intercepted by Xing every time the previous ones are okay to say. After all, the Tiger Shark starship is published on the Interstellar Open Channel. Anyone passing by here, as long as there is an interstellar public channel, can intercept the news. Even going to federal court won't be decisive. Coincidentally, the last point, the Tiger Shark battleship directly revealed all the information. Say clearly in the channel, I know the flags you made, this is the last time I'll share news for you. The markings on the back of the battleship, after this time, I will be completely clear. Death is on the interstellar most wanted list, and the crimes he has committed are condemned by anyone in the past. What was the relationship between the Endless Race and the Death God Fleet? Give up part of the family interests, and maybe everything will pass. But this time, all eyes are on before the federal election. Why don't you choose to ferment this kind of black material that comes to your door? With one less competitor, the final benefit will be in one's own hands. At that time, the Golden Light clan will not end up alone. Other families on the main star will also end, and everyone will push the wall, especially the Bond Circle, which is a unique business in the Federation. Everyone wants to enter the market and make a profit. Thinking of this, Xu Teng weighed the coin in his hand with his fingertips. Under the action of the power of advanced mecha, each part is accurately analyzed to obtain various data. Don't let me down. I'm still waiting for you to come and save the Tiger Shark fleet. Let this one charge be fully implemented, the one that can't be washed. At this time, the large central screen of the Tiger Shark fleet displayed the result that everyone expected. The suspended platform of the defensive position has been fully invaded, and the automatic defense system has been paralyzed. The opponent has not activated the repair system of the position, and the time until the system is repaired, unknown. It is detected that the basic energy source of the other party's floating platform is an anti-gravity engine, and the basic fasteners in which the link method is integrated will not affect the whole operation of a platform. After hearing the analysis of the voice prompt, everyone understood a little. No wonder. After the entire defensive position was invaded, the collapse-like rupture they imagined did not occur. From a certain point of view, the Blue Star civilization led by Xu Teng is indeed not something that ordinary people can da-boom rumble. The Tiger Shark battle was still sweeping through the completely ineffective defensive positions. After being invaded by the virus, the shields of the defensive positions could not be opened once again. They did a real crush, the kind where I shoot and the other side can't even fight back. Fragments flew all over the place, and the defensive position that had been so powerful was completely misfired. Hit me hard. At this time, Willow was a little over the top, completely out of step with the calmness of the past. But no one is going to stop this because everyone feels the same. No, why are you Blue Star? Why are we being suppressed along the way? And what are you? A salvo fired by the Red Dragon fighter. And finally the unmanned suicide shuttle in the engine compartment happily came over to get Xu Teng and gave me another defensive position. Don't be angry, you really take us for fools. Even a part of the battleship was thrown away, and the spare energy was almost used up this time. I won't smash the position in front of me, and I will drive straight into you, and I will feel uncomfortable inside. When the position finally showed a path for the Tiger Shark battleship to pass, everyone turned their heads and looked at Willa with an excited look. Still follow Commander Willa, you can have rich results. That's right, Commander Willa has no idea how many battles he has gone through. It's not a Xu Teng who came out of a planetary civilization. What is it, then? Is he the only one who deserves to be compared with our Commander Willa? This time, we will definitely capture him alive. When the time comes, please let me torture him. I also have this idea. This kind of person must not be easily let go. Otherwise, he still thinks that he is very strong. Listening to the praise of the younger brother next to her, Willow was very comfortable. That's right, that's it, it's just a leader of a garbage civilization. We went there in person, not directly crushing the opponent. Chong, we will capture Xu Teng alive after we break through the defense line. Chapter 521 Ambushed. Willa's words awaken everyone's fighting spirit. A good second-generation main battleship has been completed like this. If it is seen by the three people of the Infinity Clan, it will lose the face of the #1 villain like death if nothing else. Our boss ranks high on the Interstellar Most Wanted list. If the younger brother mixes up like this and gets slapped in the face like this, he will lose his reputation somewhat. Brother stamping, you want to kill the opposite side. That's right, I applied to take a small fighter jet to clear the way for the Tiger Shark battleship. A commander next to him suddenly said this sentence, which instantly calmed the atmosphere at the scene. The Tiger Shark battleship has abandoned too many areas, and now it has reached its limit. Can't support wormhole jumps, which means can't start jumping quickly over long distances at this time. The interstellar small fighter has become the best choice because all the Red Dragon fighter planes that could not see the end of the sky were shot down. The small fighter planes became the opponent's way of exploring. If in the general interstellar war, taking a small fighter jet to clear the way, most of them will die at this moment. Xu Teng's starfighter was gone, and the defensive positions were gone. Pen Fun Library. It is estimated that there are some planetary civilization level fighter planes left, and that one can only patrol near the atmosphere at most. In the face of the fighters sent by the Tiger Shark battleship, it is not one level, and it is completely crushed. Then there is no pressure in this kind of exploration, to be precise. So many military exploits are completely for nothing as long as the parties involved are bold. They may be directly upgraded to 1 rank in the Tiger Shark battleship. When the proposal was spoken and the people around realized the final benefit, everyone's emotions continued to rise. Commander Willa, I've been with me for more than 10 years, and I'm not the only one in front of me in every encounter. This time, please give me such an important task to ensure that you can rest assured. Bah, shameless. Some commanders' faces changed. The good guy is still more than 10 years old, and every encounter is you rushing to the front. If true, how are you still alive? Had a baby already? It's just... When they saw Commander Willa's face softening, everyone realized one thing: no way, can this statement also work? Then I will try it too. So, the scene became chaotic for a while. Willa's commander, I can testify. Because, for more than 10 years, I rushed with him. That's right, our 3-person team is a real death squad. If you can't beat it, just choose to join. In fact, Willa is really thinking about this. Of course, they were not moved by these words. But another point, will Xu Teng hide something at the end from the beginning of the fighter? The defensive line behind it is a bit wrong. It's like explaining something from the side. What you see is just what I want you to see. What you think is just what I want you to think. In this atmosphere, it is necessary to explore the way at least it can be roughly understood whether the other party still has a backhand. After a brief head-up, Willa calmed herself down, especially now. The positioning of the flagship has been completely cut off, and they really have to rely on themselves to survive the encounter. Those who follow him are desperados. But the so-called desperados don't want to capsize in such a small ditch. How ugly it will be when others talk about him in the future. What? Yo, the group of Tiger Shark battleships, I know them, and a failed fleet that just stepped into the star-level civilized battle but was completely wiped out. They are the same kind of people as us, and from the side, it's a real shame. Turning her head to look at the group of commanders beside her, Willa became clearer. If you want to control them, the reputation of the god of death alone is not enough. There is also a substantive benefit to be given. This kind of benefit is to let them know that as long as they work hard, they will be able to get the battle. Otherwise, in the face of such emergencies as encounters in the future, no one will really be there. Okay, Since what you said, then the mission of this path exploration will be taught to you. After speaking, he looked at them solemnly. I will definitely report your heroic performance to Lord Death. Follow-up rewards will definitely not be missing you. Hearing these inspiring words, everyone almost cried. Guaranteed to complete the mission. When answering one by one, he was very enthusiastic at the same time. I kept saying in my heart, compared with other commanders of the Shinigami, Captain Willa is really not comparable to Thirstadada. Listen to the voices that keep going out. Among some officers who had no chance were very envious of him. I still slow down a bit. Otherwise, such a good opportunity is not in my hands at this time. Willa was also thinking about other things. The most important one, Xu Teng. You don't really have a backer, only the hatches that could maintain the work were opened, and 50 interstellar fighters flew out of the Tigershark battleship. In terms of the number of fighters alone, it is indeed a lot less. It is impossible for any organized interplanetary team to have only such a small number of interplanetary fighters, and they will even be ridiculed by the other party if they say it. In particular, the fleets that belonged to the God of Death paid more attention to face, but they didn't even think of this. They were indeed the only 50 who were beaten by Xu Teng's several sets of punches. Oh no, there is also a Tiger Shark starship, plus the rest over there. There are almost 100 in total. The escort interplanetary battleship, which is only one level worse than the flagship, only exists so much that it will really make no one see hope, maybe, as those who participated in the war. This is not the case, and everyone's hearts are only excited. Xu Teng, now you should pull out all your defensive powers. I'm here to take your life. The number 1 fighter plane is lined up and is breaking through the opponent's defense line, and no defense force is seen. The number 2 fighter jets lined up and rushed through the defense line from the left side, and no organization was found. Fighter number 3 is advancing. We have come to the rear of the defense line, and we have not found. Wait, the voice was cut off right here, and the tone of the whole person became hurried, as if seeing something unbelievable. What's going on here? Some people wonder. Because shouldn't there be absolute security behind the line of defense? Why is your tone so horrified? You said there is a possibility that Xu Teng will still have enough troops behind the defense line to defend. No, absolutely impossible, someone immediately refuted. And the kind of panic inside began to expand infinitely. In fact, many people don't realize that Xu Teng has become an existence in their hearts that can bring panic to them. The number 3 fighter plane is lined up. Please answer when you hear it. What did you find? Willa cried anxiously. We were ambushed. Chapter 522 is the interstellar battleship, also Xu Teng in number 039, S. Ambushed. This answer is like a thunderbolt appearing in everyone's ears. No, is there really such a residual defense force? Impossible. The fighter planes were smashed, and the defense line was broken. There will be any remaining troops. Isn't the other party a low-level civilization? Why is there such a strong vitality? At this time, Willa felt a little panic in her heart, and the thing she was worried about still happened. The voice shouted hoarsely, "What the hell is going on? Tell me what you saw." Not only Willa, but the commander of the Tigershark battleship is worried. We advanced the fastest and came to the deepest part of the defense line, but a small formation of fighter jets suddenly appeared. The sound was intermittent, and the sound of protective shields blocking various energy attacks could be heard from its small fighter formation. If that's the case, it's not much of a threat after all. They still have a second-generation main battle spaceship here. And the skinny camel is bigger than a horse after all. Although the life of the battleship has come to the end of time, but pen interest library facing the fighter formation, it was still a crushing situation. The surrounding commanders also subconsciously breathed a sigh of relief. There was only a small formation of fighter planes, which was nothing. Hold on, you hold on. The number 2 and number 1 fighter formations are coming soon. Moreover, our Tiger Shark battleship is also on the way. Commander Willa, that's not what I meant. I mean, before he could finish speaking, he heard a bang from the opposite side. It was followed by boom rumble. In the conference hall, everyone fell silent. I never imagined that the situation that would definitely win has taken such a turn, and from this conversation, they couldn't tell what state the fighter formation Xu Teng mobilized was in. Is lingering, or full of state. If it is the first type, the great cause of everyone will soon be tested, but if it's the latter, don't say anything. Today our cemetery is the battlefield of Blue Star. With a wave of Willa's hand, a virtual screen appeared in front of her. The authentication is successful, and the call permission has been enabled. Sir Willa just finished speaking. Willa issues a new command directly. The number 2 fighter fleet will immediately go to the position of the number 3 fighter fleet. and go there to see what the situation is on the other side. Understood? Wait, what is that? Before he could finish speaking, Willa heard an alarm sound, the kind that was extremely harsh. This is not a good situation. If this is the case, it can only prove one point: there is a major situation to arise. Come on, what happened? At this time, Willa's inner tension began to extend infinitely. And the panic was constantly amplified because now the changes make him have a feeling that is the kind of person who seems to be calculated from start to finish. Every step is in Xu Teng's plan. The situation we see now is what Xu Teng wants to see: fighter formation, a neat formation of fighters, like a formation of fighters under the banner of a warship, neat, or the one under the warships, although all the people present are wanted people. But it also means they all have a wealth of experience, whether it's from playing interstellar encounters or leading a team. If others can tell that it is a fighter formation under the warship's flag, they may be suspicious. After all, in an interstellar encounter, any piece of information can be critical. It might be able to change the course and outcome of a small encounter. But if your teammates who get along with you day and night tell you that they see a neat formation of fighter planes under the starship, no one will doubt it. Those without rich experience have all been buried in the interstellar space. Only their experienced people have the opportunity to get to where they are today. Commander, their speed is so fast. We can't escape. The voice is still connected, and every time you say a word, you can hear the sound of various shields being attacked in the background sound of the other part of bang bang bang. Every time it hits everyone's heart. I think I've seen the model of that fighter. It's hero of the Golden Light clan. That's right, it's something made in his territory. Boom. The next second, the call was disconnected, and the conference room fell into dead silence again. Hilo. At this moment, the name is like a death token. The Tiger Shark battleship came with their flagship fleet, and their positioning with the flagship has long been disconnected. The downside is that it's not clear until now what's going on with their flagships. Is it still fighting against a flagship of the Golden Light clan, or has already been defeated? Facing Xu Teng alone made Willa feel very difficult without even taking off the other skin. We were almost wiped out. Now that there is another Halo's interstellar battleship formation, how can we fight? Even if Willa wanted to kill Xu Teng himself, there was no chance. Hero. No way. Isn't their flagship still fighting against us on another interstellar battlefield? We have lost our position with the flagship. The sad truth has been told again. Fleet number 2 will definitely upload the image. Hurry up, we will transfer the overall image to confirm. This sentence reminded Willa, and with a wave of his hand, he tapped on the virtual screen. Immediately afterwards, a video that had just been uploaded was transferred, just like the information provided by Fleet number 3. It is indeed a complete fighter formation, and in terms of the arrangement and the promotion of the progress, it is something that only an experienced fleet can do. In terms of configuration, it is indeed a part of the Golden Light clan. There is a powerful artificial intelligence computing system on the warship, which can analyze everything by intercepting the clips and the video. It's just... Do you feel something is wrong? Why is there no sign of the Golden Light clan on the other side's fighter fleet? Yes, why is there no sign? This unintentional remark made everyone wake up. Originally, he felt a little strange, but now he finally found something different. The families on the main star will have their own unique logos, on the one hand to expand their reputation, and on the other hand to make it easier to do things in the Federation of Light. Many people just see the signs of the main star family, and they will understand that they need to take a detour and not cause trouble for themselves. So, these fighter formations belong to Xu Teng. Wait. Does that mean that the spaceship is also Xu Teng's? Chapter 523, Big Fish Hooked. When this idea came out, everyone was shocked, as if they had discovered something incredible. Xu Teng actually has a starship. No, why is he? As soon as the surrounding atmosphere dropped to freezing point, a situation that everyone did not want to see appeared. Why are some people like Xiaoqiang who can't be beaten to death? Every time I went forward a little, I thought that I had finally reached the end, but as a result, it was still crushed by the opponent. Ding. According to the combat power value of the fighter formation, the approximate combat power value of the opponent's battleship is being analyzed in interstellar warfare. There is some common sense. For example, the stronger the battleship, the stronger the fighter formation it brings, and it may even exceed the pass line by a large margin. The weaker the battleship, the weaker the fleet of fighters it carries, and a single weapon can make its fighters lose their combat effectiveness. For this analysis, everyone did not care, and even thought it was superfluous until the voice prompt sounded continuously. There is new news that the opponent's fighter jets were shot down by the remaining fighter jets of the number 2 fleet. Fleet number 1 joins a new battlefield and detects that the opposite is an unmanned shuttle. not a real fighter formation unmanned shuttle. Hearing this sound, Willa and the commanders in front of the screen's attention were drawn back again. As soon as I looked up, I saw the image at the top of the screen. Fires appeared one after another, and the number of fighter formations that had been like a tidal wave was greatly reduced in a short period of time, and the defeat was irreversible. No, that's all their fighter fleet? Use the number of unmanned shuttles as a fleet. Interstellar encounters, they play like this. Whether it's the Tiger Shark battleship or the group of wanted personnel who are facing the fighter formation in the interstellar space, they are all experienced interstellar personnel with a plan for dealing with various situations when the opponent's trail has been confirmed and the defense line has broken through. The main force should be dispatched if there is no action. It means that the other party is bluffing. There are simply not enough strong troops. It seems that the number is large, but it is not resistant to fighting, just like the current matchup. Look at what Xu Teng got into. Use unmanned shuttles as fighter formations. I'm a jerk. You're really a talent. You said there is such a possibility. That is, Xu Teng's battleship will be the last one. All the resources have been spent, and in the end there is only a shell of a battleship, but it can't even achieve the ability of actual combat. No one would believe what someone said before, but now, if nothing else, using unmanned shuttles as fighter formations is really a practice that no commander will implement in the entire known universe, because no matter how strong your artificial intelligence is, it is definitely not as good as those experienced combatants. It's just a matter of time before the group disappears. At this moment, the voice of the captain of Fleet Number 1 came from the screen. Commander Willa, the opposite side has been destroyed. I am applying now. Further probing for this application. Willa did not immediately agree. I just asked first. From the battle just now, how do you feel about the combat effectiveness of the opposing shuttle? With all due respect, the other party's shuttle is as fragile as paper, which is not enough for us to fight. From the opponent's level, it can be clearly inferred that the battleships are also the same as paper, and our warships that are reaching their limit can crush them. You sure? Of course, the brothers can all testify. At this time, the tone of the call had a variety of cheerful atmospheres. The original despair was swept away, and everyone had only one thought: no, this is it. Okay, then you press forward first. Pay attention to the surrounding dynamics. Our warships will follow behind. Clear. Guarantee to complete the mission. Xu Teng, you will die for me. Many people began to fantasize about the next plot. Xu Teng was captured, and finally ravaged in various ways. Of course, he still had to leave his life behind. Lord Death had specially ordered it. On the other side, the technicians of the Golden Light clan who followed were just staring at it in astonishment. The screen has always been live, and any dynamic can be seen clearly. For example, the other party's nervous emotions, desperate expressions, and various instructions. That's right, when Galaxy invaded the Tiger Shark battleship, it planted a virus in it. The virus has always been dormant and has never been detected. Any command can be heard, so that's what surprised them. Even if the construction technology of warships is powerful, why is information technology also superior? Moreover, the use of the final tactics is also so smooth. Despair, hope. No matter how hopeless, no more hope. Under the psychological gap many times, see what the opposite has become. Crazy. He actually shouted that the battleships were all paper-like and could be broken easily. Isn't that just courting death? I thought that His Excellency Xu Teng was just a warship builder, but now, he is an all-round technician, and in the tactical part, there is a natural commander temperament. In a short period of time, he had completely made Willa on the opposite side his prey. Commanders like Willa are among the top ones on the Interstellar Most Wanted list, and have always been known for their calmness. Look at it now. Where can you be calm? All are on top either way. Your Excellency Xu Teng is still a person with super strong combat power. In this way, it seems that it is not our Lord Hero who is taking advantage. On the contrary, we took advantage. The representatives of the families competing for the Golden Light clan have a success rate of nearly 50%. Thinking of this, the group of technicians turned their heads and took the initiative to say to Akademician Tuzi and other famous scholars beside them, "Come on, let's explain to you about this encounter." The aircraft group, the other party, mainly participated in the war. Everyone looked at each other with joy in their eyes. Then thank you all. Where? At this time, Xu Teng was listening to Xing's report. The unmanned shuttle that has been released has been successfully placed on the opposite side. The artificial intelligence of the opponent's battleship made a huge mistake, and the entire fleet began to move forward rashly. Everything is as you planned. Hearing these judgments, Xu Teng rubbed his chin and asked, "Has Xu Yangxingchen arrived? The character over there is a big fish. After doing so long, they are waiting for this big fish to take the bait." Not long after they arrived, they also saw the confrontation of the unmanned shuttle before everyone is here, and the script has been staged. By the way, there is another question. If Wu Yangxingchen uses the wormhole to jump, can you interfere immediately and make the wormhole collapse? Yes, but not many times enough, so the curtain opened, and everyone began to appear. Give me the Guardian battleship, and the Red Dragon series of fighters are also preparing later. This time, hit me hard, clear. Chapter 524 We are your chess pieces. At this time, the excitement of everyone in the Guardian battleship after receiving the order began to rise. Chen Yuang, who was the first to unlock the power of the mecha, was already the commander of the Guardian battleship. Soldiers, Blue Star has always been under the threat of death. Now the other party has to open up the interstellar-level strategic resources like battleships to suppress us. Can we bear it? Cannot. With the affirmative answer, a faint ray of light appeared on everyone's mecha. The Guardian starship. Xu Teng had a point in mind when he assembled it in Halo territory. All the designs here are built for the people of the power of mecha, and the original intention is to fully develop the potential of the Guardian battleship. Even the families on the main star of the Federation cannot fully control the Guardian battleship, but Blue Star is different. There are piles of mecha warriors here, which fully meet the requirements. Yes, no, so we have to fight. We have to fight hard. Why should we be bullied? His grandmother's is projected on the mainland of Blue Star. Don't they know that the territory has air dominance? Project if you want to project, and kill if you want to kill. He still speaks cruelly in front of everyone in the world, saying that he wants to make Blue Star his colony. Can you bear it? Can you bear it? Extreme anger appeared on the faces of each soldier, and everyone thought of the suffocation at that time. I can't bear it. Fight. If they want to fight, we will fight. We will fight until they don't dare to be presumptuous in front of Lanzing, and they will tremble when they hear Lanzing's name. The atmosphere instantly ignited, and every soldier's eyes flashed with anger, and the answers were sonorous and powerful. Okay, the Guardian battleship is launched, and the Red Dragon fighter is on standby at any time. Give me a call. The moment the order was issued, the Guardian battleship, which was originally hidden in the depths of the defense line, instantly took off its cloak of invisibility and returned to its original color. At this moment, the number 2 fighter formation rushing in front suddenly found the Guardian battleship aside, at first surprised, then overjoyed. Here, hurry up, request the support of Fleet Number 1, I'm coming. Fleet Number 1 was originally nearby, and when they got the news, they immediately came to support us. Suddenly, the fighter formations approaching the Guardian fleet all heard strange vibrations, like is what attracted the General Warren. A large number of unknown energy fluctuations were detected. Warren. Energy volatility has peaked. Warren. You are locked. Locking. The operator who is in the happy fighter formation saw an unforgettable scene as soon as he lifted it. The Guardian battleship they laughed at was accumulating energy, and it was not in one direction, but all directions were lit up with a faint blue light. Because the fluctuation of energy is too drastic, it can be clearly seen that there is a visible ripple in the surrounding space, which is the main reason for the vibration from their fighter plane. What is this? Seems to be. Before the words were finished, the prompt sound came out again. The opponent has carried out a devastating blow, and it is expected to be attacked for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. As soon as they looked up, everyone saw the oncoming blue light that was as thick as their screen. Do not. Boom rumble. A dazzling red explosion light group appeared in the deep interstellar space. All the fighter planes that rushed over hoping to get the results were destroyed in an instant. Even if some experienced fighter operators activated a shield at the end, it was of no use. Not even a decent Block 2 Tiger Shark battleships. The last fighter formation was wiped out in a single encounter. Quiet. Extremely quiet. No one imagined that this would end up being the outcome. The originally beautiful fantasy was shattered in an instant. Those who tried to slaughter Blue Star and bound Xu Teng to the god of death were crushed again. Everyone was stunned, and their hearts were cold. After thinking about it carefully, they found that there was a point that they had ignored all the time from the beginning of the confrontation with Xu Teng to the present. They have been the object of toying throughout the whole process. Any so-called plan seems to have been seen through by Xu Teng. A fear of being manipulated was imprinted in everyone's memory. Among them, the one with the most ugly face is Willa, and there is also a ranking list for the warriors under the god of death. There are several types of letterboards, a potential list, a general's list, and even an intelligence list, and all the people who can be on the intelligence list are so-called intelligent generals. And Willa is always in the top 3 on this list. Sometimes it ranks second, when it ranks the highest first. When ranked first, Willa brought his own private unit to fight a perfect encounter and wiped out the opponent. At that time, Willow was in high spirits, and the Federation of Light began to pay attention to this soldier under the command of Death. But now, what the hell was this encounter? The whole process was ambushed by Xu Teng and entered into his trap, and it was calculated from the moment he entered the solar system. Smart generalist? What the hell? I'm sorry, I'm hitting on you guys thinking of this. Willow felt humiliated whether from a tactical or psychological point of view. He finally realized something. Xu Teng didn't see him as a competitor, to be precise, didn't even care about him. The person he has to deal with is not himself, but, and many more. Willow seemed to have thought of something, and the tentacles on his body began to stretch violently, which meant that his mood became excited. Xu Teng's goal is the endless race, Yang Xingchen. It's not how he would know, if that was the case. Willow read new information in an instant. If I remember correctly, the general election of the Bright Federation will start in more than a year. Before that, the first thing to do is to select the representatives of the Endless Race, and at this critical time, if Xu Teng revealed a big news, the Endless Clan is related to the Death God civilization, and when the Golden Light Clan is unable to fight against the Death God, they are fishing in troubled waters. Yang Xingchen took revenge on a civilization that was just starting out with his personal desire to win, but before the whole thing happened, the fault was all on Yang Xingchen's side. When all of these were exposed, Willow had already thought about how the Infinity Race would suffer before the election. The public decree of the Federation of Light was expressly prohibiting fighting, but your Hante clan not only knew, but also became a leading party, using the God of Death to threaten other blue stars who had just stepped into the interstellar civilization. Still want an election? Dream it. If it is more serious, the big business and all aspects of the family will be transferred to other families, and there will be no more family territory of their endless family on any main star. Su. Your Excellency Xu Teng. You turned out to be playing such a big chess game. I never imagined that we would both be your pawns. Chapter 525, Fishing and Law Enforcement. Again. The younger brothers next to him were all stunned. What do you mean? Why did you suddenly call Xu Teng your lord? Those who are familiar with Willow know that your excellency is an honorific title, and the commander of his family has been on the list of smart generals on the interstellar list. This means, if he hadn't convinced his boss in terms of layout, Willow would never have been convinced. But what Willow exclaimed just now, we are all pawns, everyone heard it. So, what the hell is going on? Why do you know when all our fighter formations are bombed? Commander Willow, what the hell is this? The younger brother next to him saw that Willow's tentacles had completely shrunk before he dared to ask. After all, this represents 1 point. The commander's mood has stabilized, and he will not be scolded for asking during this time. It's pretty obvious that we've been fooled, be cheated. The little brothers next to him were a little baffled. How could he be fooled? Haven't we been fighting Xu Teng desperately all the time? It's just that every time the result is a little bit short. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit short of you. Wait a minute, some of the commanders here are starting to understand. Turning his head to look at Willow, he asked in a tone of disbelief, Sir, you mean us? Every failure is inevitable. When the defense line is broken, from the moment, some people have been with Willow for a long time, and they have learned a little bit. No, it didn't start with a defense line. It was the moment we broke through the flagship's blockade, and we fell into the whole trap. Raising his hand, Willow called out the virtual screen and kept entering various commands on it. When Willow said these words, everyone was shocked, but if you think about it carefully, it does make sense. No matter how they try to break through, in the end, it's still a little bit worse, and it's always a 1,000,000-point difference. Commander Willow, are you going to ask the group of people behind for help now? Willow's hand that gave the command paused, and said somewhat desolately, it's not alright, it's a helpless move. He thought about how he pulled Yang Xingchen into his team. To that extent, the two sides carried out cooperation has already had to let the other side cooperate, and the same is true now. Even if Willow didn't send those distress signals on the interstellar open channel, it didn't change anything because Xu Teng was able to discover Yang Xingchen Pen Fund Library naturally. The communication process between them was recorded long ago. Taking a step back, Willow is both in homage to Xu Teng, but also because he wants to live in the head-to-head conflict between Yang Xingchen and Xu Teng. They lost, and it is not unreasonable to say that they were abused, and it is the case where the restraint ring is brought on. Although Yang Xingchen has a bad reputation, he has done a lot of mindless things, but in such a brainless situation, the other party will never do it. This means there must be a strong opponent behind it, otherwise, it is absolutely impossible to have such a big courage. If you guessed correctly, Xu Teng's spaceship would not immediately attack them when he issued such an order. It must be confirmed first whether Ouyang Xingchen has received his news after all. Xu Teng's goal is big, you can really act. It's been so long that you haven't made any mistakes at all. That's all. Being able to explain to a respectable opponent is also an excellent destination for me. When Willa sent all this information through the interstellar open channel, the younger brother said beside him, Commander Willa, the other side's battleship really hasn't moved forward again, and the weapons with a faint blue light are not charged anymore. The faint blue light weapon that the Xu Teng battleship just sent out was really scary, and all the fighter formations were wiped out in a single encounter. It has achieved a shocking effect directly in the hearts of this group of people. Really, seeing the opponent's performance, Willa's body began to go limp. This was the first time he had encountered a helpless opponent from start to finish. There is no way, no, probably the last time. On the other side, in the hidden depths of the interstellar space, Xu Teng is hiding in it just now. Xing received the interstellar broadcast released by Willa's public channel. As the Willa model expected, when he figured it all out, he would definitely do so. On the one hand, he was convinced by your layout, and on the other hand, because he himself had a very strong desire to survive. Xu Teng listened quietly. The expression on his face did not show too many emotional fluctuations. On the one hand, Willa didn't finish speaking. When the other party appeared in the solar system, he had already begun to calculate the other party in every step. He, the chess player, was manipulating the opponent to come this way. Fortunately, from the whole process, the other party did not get out of control. Ouyang Xingchen, have they received the information, in the follow-up plan, in order to prevent the endless race from whitewashing in various ways, or making a rake? Xu Teng needs to have more information about the actual hammer, fight for a shot into the soul, and use a combination of punches to completely hammer Ouyang Xingchen to death. The information has been received, but there is not much reaction at this moment. Through intelligent analysis, only a general position can be obtained. It is estimated that the other party used talent skills such as spatial turbulence to block all their own positions, received the news, but did not respond too much. It seemed that he was waiting for an opportunity that he felt was not worth it. If this is the case, it seems that a fire must be added. A complete plan gradually emerged in Xu Teng's mind. He asked, has the Red Dragon fighter not been discovered? No, the force of the Mecha hasn't come out either. Still on standby. The force of the Mecha will open wormholes, although it is only a short distance wormhole, but in supporting the battlefield, the Red Dragon fighter cannot be compared, so it doesn't matter if the distance is stretched a little. It seems that it is a matter of adding a fire, so that the opponent has a kind of progress that I can directly be a little stronger, and I can immediately take down the opponent, commonly known as fishing law enforcement, hack directly into the system of the Tiger Shark battleship. I want to say something. Okay, in the Tiger Shark interstellar battleship, all the commanders were trembling with fear. After all, there is an attack battleship on the opposite side, and the pressure is not ordinary. There was a sudden electric sound, followed by a familiar sound. I'm Xu Teng. I didn't expect you to come to the deepest part of the defense line. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.